Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ESL, and this is the Rainbow Six Siege Invitational 2020 Qualifier Playoffs. This is the losers bracket, but tonight we're going to be watching Chaos versus iZiDream. I am your caster, MisfitMidas, and the map tonight, the first one of the three, will be Clubhouse, Chaos on attack, iZiDream on defense, and the bans are underway. Now added to ranked and unranked. Both of these kind of systems with kind of like the 3-round swap now as far as the actual round win and loss for attack, defense, whatever go. In Pro League, that's going to be 6 and 6 if you're not super familiar with more like competitive play. So that means Chaos will start on attack for the first 6 rounds and iZiDream will start on defense for the first 6 and then swap at the half. In any case, the operator bans are underway, and the first 2 bans coming out extremely kind of key here towards Clubhouse. So those are going to both affect a lot of utility usage, mainly on the Heartbreach side of the house. That's Maverick and Thatcher. So denying both between the two teams, both of the ways that you can get a lot of utility off the walls or etc. Very quickly, very easily. That's going to be especially key there on the tub wall for the gym bedroom defense. The church wall, if you're going all the way downstairs, and then the cache wall there, or excuse me, the CCTV wall and CCTV cache. And both those operators are going to play, I think, a pretty big part in this matchup. And we're going to start actually downstairs here as iZiDream, again, is on defense. It's usually kind of a toss-up. You see most teams go between Church Arsenal or the CCTV cache. And again, you are allowed to 6-pick in competitive settings if you're not super familiar with it. That's 1 per team per round. So we're going to see Vito go over to the Buck, and then P4 bring the Valk, trying to get some more information for the team. And the Buck, I think, there to assist what I could imagine the Zofia with a lot of the ability to take out some utility, both the frags, and you have obviously Zofia's lifelines. There's the ability to open up from above there, which is going to be super key here, especially in really trying to feed out this Arsenal side that you see here on the B-bomb. So really, honestly, kind of key towards this hold downstairs. And again, this is more geared to the guys that are fairly new to competitive play or strategies in general. You have a lot of hatches on this map. So you see the one that Kukas is getting there, and then you have one in bar, you have one in kitchen, and then you also have a drop down in garage. All in all, quite a bit of area to try and cover both with hatches and then also utility. And that's going to be a big key here to bring the double hard breach that we see on Chaos's side there, with both secretly on that Thermite and Red Groove on the Habana. But in any case, the drones and the round is underway. Kind of looking at the defensive spread here for iZiDream. That Shinka and Kukas underneath there with both the Legion and the Smoke, trying to hold down, while P4 very quickly is actually playing. But Vito's going to trade out onto P4 in a bathroom. Not trade out, excuse me, take out very quickly there. And then now watching up above as they have opened up from above. And that's going to be Durza and Chaos actually playing pretty loosely above here. And Durza knows something's going on underneath him, but needs to figure out exactly what is going on. Is now Chaos sitting on that garage side, and that's going to be extremely useful here for a pinch upstairs if they do in fact get dropped. And Chaos now obviously being split between the top and the bottom floor here on first is either going to have to try and figure out how they can ignore that top floor, cut off some of the rotations down and play that way, or they're going to have to clear through it, or else they're going to find themselves in a sandwich very late on. That is Shate shooting it down and into garage, and that's going to be in an attempt to try and find Chaos, who's since rotated over towards Cash, and almost a minute and a half into the round here, and really nothing stands in the way of Durza or Chaos upstairs, and it's all going to really be Chaos to try and figure out how to bypass them so they don't get sandwiched here. Secretly, having opened up tunnel, waiting on that drone, brought down by Red Groove, is going to very quickly find Shinka sitting in the tunnel. And this could be a very early dispatch here for Secretly if he's not careful. Although that M590 does not have a lot of range, if you're accurate with it, it's going to be deadly, and the Toxic Babes will come out there from Shinka, and those have a pretty decent delay time, 10-12 seconds. And Chaos will be able to take out Shate, but Renewal's trying to refrag there into the lounge, but Vito actually from the opposite side, and that's going to be a long kill over from Toilets, and that now puts him at a 3-4 man advantage. Shinka has one more Toxic Bait to throw out there in the tunnel before his time has run out on the block, and Secretly will very aggressively move up. Vito is going to get taken out there by Durza right on main stairs, and then Shinka actually onto Secretly despite the push here, and that leaves it back into a 2v3, so Chaos seemingly have an advantage for just a little bit. But now Renewals has the task of pushing Blue and trying to clear out Kukas here. And at the back, utilizing some of those lifelines, is going to be able to stun him. But the push is going to have to come out. Red Groove is going to be down onto Durza there right at the bottom of main stairs. Now rotating over into Moto and trying to pinch off here. He is going to look for a second. He is going to down the second. That'll be Renewals. It's going to have to now push through. Red Groove has one, and it's all up to Shinka, who's sitting in tunnel with the diffuser. 10 seconds left, and they've got to know that Shinka's babysitting this here. And that shotgun, all they have to do is be able to trade. They're not going to get the trades. They're both going to push separately, but he's going to miss the M590 shot, and Renewals closes it out on the trade back to Shinka in order to win the round for Chaos. And that's round number 1 on what honestly really looked like an iZiDream round right up until the very end. And I think really key to that was potentially some of the utility. usage there by iZiDream. You have those Toxic Babes there to hold tunnel, and I got it. He did eventually get the kill on Secretly, but basically you're putting a lot of pressure there on the time, like mid-range, right? So like you still have roamers upstairs. They're going to put the pressure on the attacking team of Chaos for you. You've really got to save those Toxic Babes to the last second. And if he'd had those at the very end, I mean, hindsight is 2020. But if he would have had those at the very end, he would have been able to back off down the tunnel, buy some time with the Toxic Babes, and waste that last bit and at least do some damage there on the push. Pretty good roam game, though, from Izzy, and they were able to cover their bases pretty quickly, trade, and they bring it down actually into man advantage, but just a really great push there to close it out by Renewals and Red Groove. We are going to rotate upstairs, though, so Izzy choosing not to try and fight downstairs again after that, and instead moving up to CCTV Cache, which a lot of people often consider to be either the strongest or the second strongest site on the map, depending on what kind of team you are. So that is going to be upstairs, and key to this is really going to be this wall. You see Kukas there with the Bandit trying to hold, but potentially tricking. Not really sure why there's the trick there, unless he's just trying to really bait out some of that utility from underneath, which is going to be really brought from Renewals and Vito here. And that's going to be in a lounge. He's going to have to figure out how he wants to bait that out. Durs is going to get spot there on blue stairs, but again, the task and the chore is going to really come up to them, and this push is about to come out there, and Renewals will be able to get it. Durs on a great push between him and Secretly, utilizing just a couple of those flashes in order, one of the flashes to get rid of the nuisance on blue. Chaos now looking for the refrag. Renewals now getting fairly aggressive. He's actually going to break out the drone, trying to come in on Chaos, looking above. It is going to come out, and he's going to actually almost really back off that, but he is pinched in a rock and a hard place, and Shate and Red Groove know it, because he's going to now be responsible for trying to hold basically all of bottom garage. Ashinka dispatching with some of those Toxic Babes again, and he's actually just going to rotate right back up, so he has the time to buy. He's delayed about a minute underneath. Vito trying to open up there through stock, able to get a couple of shots there on to Cuckoo's, and we're slowing back down. So about this halfway point is really where you've got to look at some of the utility usage, the drone usage, kind of the delay that you so often see stalled in some of the amateur teams, but both these teams being very competitive, really good about slowing back down the attack. And Utility's going to come out in P4, unable to close out any of the damage he's done. And with that Captau asphyxiating bolt usage, Shate is able to take out P4. And it's now into a 3v5 here. And Chaos looking strong yet again on the second map. And just like that, the not Chaos team's Chaos is going to go down there, but Renewals closed out, and it's a one, and Shate, and obviously Vito there from the Chaos kill closes it out for Chaos on a flawless round in round number 2, and they are looking absolutely incredible here on, or through 2 rounds here on Clubhouse. We're going to rotate into round number 3, and Izzy trying to do a full site rotation, figuring out what works for them, as we're going to go over to Gym Bedroom, and that is the second other upstairs site we talked about being so key with that tub wall, with some of that deletion of, the Thatcher and the Maverick usage. Chaos bringing basically the exact same lineup, and Izzy breaking out the Goyo finally, and super curious to see how this gets played. It really hasn't been played a ton in the Invitational quals here thus far. Now that it is finally open, this is the first official tournament, at least on the big stage, that those have become available. And you've got to imagine, as it's been discussed quite a bit, that a lot of these competitive teams, it is the biggest qualifier of their life, and is the biggest matches of their lives. And trying to really maybe throw that onto a Goyo strat is, I'm sure, scary for some teams, but everybody's experimenting. It's always really interesting to see how teams and players experiment with the Goyo usage, and really excited to see how that's going to work out here on this site for Izzy, as Chaos looks to go a full 3-round site rotation on the attack with triple win here as the attack is underway. And again, if you're not super familiar with kind of the way the map is set up, this is the tub wall that we're talking about, very key here to this site. That gets opened up. A lot of long nails are opened up there over in the hall towards the top of stairs and logistics. And then the other half, that's going to be really how Izzy manages to hold the CCTV cache side, as they're playing very laterally, not really underneath at all, as you do see some teams play underneath with C4s. Speaking of, we will see P4 rotate over to join Chaos. And Chaos rotating back upstairs actually to kind of support and help out up top, as Vito actually alone and unafraid downstairs in bathroom. That's going to really be looking for P4 and some of his C4 that's proving going to be so vital there in full table. Shot tape rotating up towards the roof, but the real fight right now is going to be between Vito and P4, and he's about to be opened up, and Vito is going to be able to close out onto P4 there at the bar, and that is the C4 from underneath gone. So we do have one more, and that is going to be in the hands of Shinka here. But that is on site, not really underneath, so I'll be curious to see if they do have him rotate underneath, but in fact, he's actually going to be the alone and unafraid, really, that's left over on the CCTV cache side to try and prevent the construction push. The wall will be opened by secretly, and that is the tub wall. So they're going to figure out how to make the entry from here, and that's especially going to be difficult with Chaos playing in logistics, which is a pretty prominent point here all the way across towards that tub wall. And again, we are at that minute-and-a-half mark, and we talk about it being a really key here for both teams. They try to figure out exactly how they want to utilize some of their available utility that is still left in the fight. And Renewal's is actually going to be able to kill off the Goyo onto Durza. Kind of a taste of his own medicine there. And he's going to go down there, actually, from the top of the bed by Kukas there. Looking for a second. Shinka taking some damage on the back of Cash, but really staved off as Renewal's trying to watch there with that reflex sight on the M762 and hold the angle. But we do have secretly in and looking for a plant. This is going to be on Shinka, actually going to be able to another one. It's tied now 3-3. That's going to be against Renewal's, the one that's trying to peek that window for him. And now he's going to have complete, pretty dominant control here of the CC window. And he's going to go for a peek, and he's actually going to get another one there on to Vito. Kukas is basically going to put it almost no out, but takes secretly out, and it's now Red Groove. And 1v2, he has 30 seconds, and both members here of Izzy are going to be on low health, but Kukas actually able to close that out from the bed in bedroom all the way down into the logistics hallway. And that is the first round for iZiDream. So finally found the site that works for them. And the score is now 2-1. Really looked like Chaos struggled with, bypassing the clear there on the CCTV cache side, locking it down, closing it off, and it really came back to hurt him as just so much damage was done there by Shinka with that SMG-11. Both at close range and a fairly far range there on that window, where they're just damage, and then the 2 kills he actually did get in the long run. And then he was just able to retain control, and really looking next time we go up towards him bedroom, if in fact we do over the next 3 rounds, looking to see Chaos kind of push up and through that back half of the map in order to really close him out, cut off that rotation out of construction, then maybe go back for, the tub wall push or the window push like we saw them attempt. It's just really hard to do when you don't have control of the window on CC, when you can just quick peek quite a bit on that balcony, especially with the extremely high fire to the SMG-11 that Shinko was kind of boasting with a pretty high accuracy rate there by him on the window. How about, that kind of that mid-round, and we did stall out quite a bit. The utility and the droning was still there. Just kind of the take didn't work out the exact way they wanted, as they were really unable to have a dedicated watch on that window, and they were trying to do it from close, but when you go against that SMG-11, it is almost impossible to take out anybody sitting right there in CCTV. In any case, we are underway underneath, and kind of looking at this defensive spread for Izzy. Chaos actually playing pretty bold there in garage before rotating back down through oil pit towards blue, and that's going to be 3 of the defenders underneath, and then pretty similar to last time. I'm sorry, that's actually all 5. That is 100% my fault. That is all 5 defenders underneath, and we're going to assume to be here by Chaos a very quick roam clear if they can figure out extremely quickly that all of the members of iZiDream are playing underneath and in sight. This should be dispatched pretty quickly. As you can tell, the drones from Chaos are being extremely efficient here, and Vito actually all the way at the bottom of a tunnel already trying to get some free information. He is going to see one there in the corner, and you've got to imagine that P4 is going to rotate over a little bit and move, as just really Vito not taking too much advantage of the free open. But he does have the buck, so he's going to rotate back and onto main floor and able to start opening up from the top to assist his team. Now, if they know for a fact they do have the free roam clear, and you'll notice there that they have a couple members of the team on the flank watch. Very important, having the stairs completely locked down, so Vito and team are free to do their dirty work right above. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to open the hatches than you would typically imagine, especially with some of that kite play brought out. But they will be able to at least dispatch some of it, and you can imagine they do have some of the impacts on the bottom team, and they actually have 0 impacts there on Church, which you'll see a lot of times the impacts come out in an effort to really impact trick the hatches. You don't really have to worry about utility usage or trying to kite trick that at all. You just really focus on the impacts, but that is not going to be brought out here at all by Izzy. Vito spots from underneath. That's going to be a C4 come out, but that's going to Durza down there by Vito. And then almost a second there by Renewals in blue. He's going to be almost double peak there by P4. He's got the long angle onto Shate, and it's now back into a 4v4 despite Renewals almost being able to absolutely crush Chaos sitting right behind the blue shell. P4 a second kill on to secretly through the kitchen hatch, and he's looking for a third as Red Groove trying to peek the exact same angle, at least to save the diffuser, and he's about to peek it again. Curious if he does. And he's trying to play with fire here. He knows 2 members of his team was brought down by P4 in the exact same spot and still chooses to go for it again. Renewal's rotating all the way around into tunnel, and that's really a pretty strong defensive setup here still remaining for Izzy. Red Groove able to take out P4 really strong. The plant is going to go down there in the back of Arsenal, being covered at the bottom of main stairs, but Cuckoo's going to be able to take out Vito, and is really down to Renewals here and Red Group, but they're actually both going to be able to be taken out just like that. iZiDream has completely retained control of the site, and we're now putting it into a 2v2 after a really great clutch there from Kukus. And there is your scoreboard thus far in the matchup. Really, both teams playing pretty well here. Chaos doing a really great job just of, I think, almost out-fragging early on, but then right as they seem like they have control of the round the past 2 rounds, Izzy just absolutely shuts it down and brings it completely on top of Chaos. And Chaos kind of had their butts handed to them a couple times, but we are going to go to CCTV cash, and Chaos did win this, just although like they did win Basement the first time we went down. So I'm sure Izzy looking to get aggressive here on this site, just like Basement, and trying to get them up in the initiative here on Clubhouse. Again, we talked about it earlier. If you're not super familiar with competitive play, it is 6 rounds on each side for both teams. So there are 2 more rounds left in Izzy's defensive half before we rotate and swap sides. And each side, again, if you're not super familiar, is on a 3-round site rotation. So for instance, they will play this site now. In the 5th round, they will not be able to play it again at all in this defensive half, as you'd have to wait another 2 rounds before it opens back up there on the 3rd. You can imagine, I'm sure a lot of you know, that the fan favorite here has probably got to be Chaos, just because of their really storied history, their experience in competitive, including Pro League there for Rainbow Six. But at the same time, iZiDream has had an absolute phenomenal, despite being in the losers bracket, performance thus far in this qualifier playoff. Is they've won pretty aggressively there when they did win their matchups, but at the same time, they obviously have lost. At least, you know, they've lost their one time to be put down in the losers bracket, and Chaos the same. So really, I imagine and expect this to be a fairly tight game. And Rules again trying to take into Lounge in an effort to really kind of get the bandits off the wall for his Thermite. That will be secretly there. Chaos looking to stop that from bottom of garage, but both him and P4 are playing underneath, and that's actually Shate, who's almost gotten his head taken off there. And Renault's really just honestly waiting on the rotate out of garage, but I don't think he's going to make the move. Shate taking quite a bit of damage there from P4 with that Maestro LMG from the top of the balcony, but we've experienced and expended a lot of utility here, but Durza able to take out Renewals, and that will be from underneath. And Durza, a second kill on DeVito, dropped through Oil Pit into garage. Not sure how he managed to get into garage with Chaos sitting right there, but he did. Chaos now looking to take out Shate. Shate going for the kill. We will be able to take out Chaos from underneath. Red Groove opening up above, but P4 still in garage, and iZiDream once again looking extremely dominant on the back of the double. from Urza, but he is finally going to go down there with that kind of combo between Red Groove and Shate yet again from the top. That's the second time after doing some damage, but we're now in a 3v3, but we still have a couple Toxic Babes there and a C4 at disposal. Durza will be holding strong underneath, but again, they're going to have to go for this plant. They were unable because Renewals was down in a lounge and died trying to open up the wall to get the primary wall open. So they are going to get it though. Finally with some of that utility taken off, secretly open that off, and they have garage control, they have balcony control. Now all they have to do is go from the plant. They're going to have to really worry about this utility usage, which again, with 2 C4s and Toxic Babes in hand, they've really saved a lot of their utility for this final plant. Here it goes. It is going to go down, and waiting on Shinka and Kukas to bait out some of the utility. It's going to come out there, and he's going to stop the plant as Kukas in a 2v2 situation. He's not going to be able to get the second, though, as he is traded off there by Shate, and Shinka is left there. No Toxic Babes available. 22nd, he's going to attempt to get flashed out here and push from both sides. It's going to go down as Chaos able to regain control there, as secretly trades it with Shinka, but at the man advantage, Chaos will take the round, and they're now up 3-2. Absolutely incredible round. There was actually really exciting to watch, at least for me. And really looking at kind of, again, we talk about utility usage being so important, especially at higher levels of play where the gunplay is always there. Well, don't say always, because, you know, every once in a while, everybody whiffs, right? But the gunplay is there. You're going to be able to connect shots at the level that these guys are playing out, but it's really about the strategy. It's about the utility usage and the teamwork, communication, however you want to describe that, at the high level of play. And when you look at it in a 3v3 situation, 40 seconds left, which is really where we were. Despite both the walls being open, you have 2 Toxic Babes left and a C4. Assuming you spread those out, right? That's double Toxic Babes that can deny the plant for, you know, assuming the time between the plant and trying to go back in and the throw distance. You're really looking at about 30 to 35 seconds burnt, depending on how well you space them, and if you really, like, there's a delay between when he pushes back in through the smoke. That leaves you with 10 seconds left. You still have a C4. You're holding the angles. Is he really, honestly, just, I don't want to say blew it because it's harsh and you don't know what's happening. There's issues of communication going on, but they really kind of blew the utility usage there with the push. Is that really, honestly, was a fleet round for them, as they had the wall open at the top of Cash right there in order to get some of that utility over. And you really, I think, lost it when the aggressive push from Kukas just got way too aggressive there on the rotate around as the Bandit, trying to get the gun kill instead of using the Nitro Cell, you know, which you still have, but really just kind of wasted, I think, a bit. Chaos actually running down to meet Shate. He's going to see Shate and read him perfectly as he hears the drone, and that's an opening kill again for Chaos. And just like that, 30 seconds, not even really at 20 about, they are down a man, and that's going to be a pretty big down there, as that is the countdown with both the asphyxiating bolts and some of the usage of the smoke. And that really looks like that was their only attempt once again to try to stop out this, like, CCTV cache hold, and Shinka looking to duplicate again here from the window. And I swear, if Shinka's able to pull this off here with the SMG-11 yet again against Renewals, I might actually lose my mind here. You know, the watch is coming out. They've called it. They do have this, and really, this is kind of where it ended before. They do know that Shinka's watching it, so we'll see if there's this take that comes out, but it really honestly doesn't look like a take is going to come out at all. They still do have that logistic control, and that's Chaos with the bullet hole angle all the way to master bedroom. And Renewal's actually burning out every single bit of the lifeline support already, a minute and a half into the round, and we're seeing an over-aggressive, almost overabundant usage of utility to really bait out kind of some of the defenders here this early into the round. Is you're almost expired with some of the utility you have for the take, and they are getting quite a bit of information, not able to action on it, but just after I say that, Vito able to take out Durza as he peeks the bedroom window. Shinka still sitting very patiently in cash, and he honestly has a free couple kills, and Chaos realizing it's not gonna work there from the windows, and they've rotated around. Red Groove actually in the hallway right outside of Gem and looking to get aggressive. Chaos having to watch that as Vito is on the top of the logistics hash, looking down, and Renault's going to be able to come up into logistics and look for the trade. And that's actually Chaos looking to get yet another one. Renault's going to be able to get onto P4, though, and that's in a 3v3 situation. We're going to see Shinka come back and actually go to help the remaining players here. Secretly not really getting in a position to plant with 29 seconds left. You can imagine they've got to here. Red Groove tried to look at Kukas there. Kukas is going to be able to get a second on to Secretly from the exact same spot we saw previously. And it's the same situation as Red Groove is the last left alive. And Chaos is going to be able to close out on Red Groove. And Izzy goes 3-3 against Chaos here in the half. And we will rotate sides. I think, honestly, the story of that half right there between Chaos and iZiDream was maybe the, not really overabundance, but the misuse of utility at the wrong parts of the matchup, or like, you know, necessarily like the not key moments there. They're wasting a lot of utility there at the mid-range, and then expired, you know, both on defense and attack rounds were lost trying to go into the last 30, 45 seconds of the round because all the utilities expended are just not used correctly. And then, you know, just like right there, the rotate came out. They had gym control, quote unquote, despite obviously, you know, you look at the bottom of the floor being open, but they had gym control. They could have rotated around, went for the plant, but they really committed towards that logistics like push there, especially with the diffuser. Kind of odd to me, but again, hindsight is 2020, and we're special because, you know, we get to see what goes on with all the highlighted characters and everything else. And obviously they do not have that. At least we hope they don't. But in any case, we are 3-3 at the half, so well played there on both teams, and really curious to see how the second half goes, as they do have to take 7 rounds to win. So whatever team wants to win this half will have to go 4-2 in order to take map number 1 for themselves. But for the first defensive round by Chaos, we are going to go underneath towards the basement defense. That will be Church Arsenal, of course. And Izzy now on to attack. A lot of the problem we saw here on the basement was just kind of like the over-aggression early on, and then the stall from Chaos coming into the final push. And Izzy just really having a pretty tight, locked-down defense here, despite the one time they were able to lose down with kind of some of the missed utility play. But all 5, as we see, is extremely common in a lot of competitive teams, is just to play underneath with a full 5, lock it down, no roam necessary. Clubhouse is extremely hard map to roam on / rotate on, and it's kind of this really hard to lock, and they are going to find Renewals underneath there, and that will be with the lifelines from P4 right there at Blue Stairs, and he's going to be spot out. But that is 3 of the lifelines gone, and you know, we're a minute into the round. Renewals, we're going to have to play that pretty well here, but you know, a lot of utility has been baited out against him. Secretly holding very strong there in tunnel, but then now looking at kind of the attacker side push, Chaos is going to be able to start opening up some of the hatches with those Skyros charges, which he does have 3 full sets of, and that's 3 hatches, but they will have to kind of compete with the ability from underneath to focus on, you know, a lot of the Kaid tricking, or, you know, just the double placement there by Vito, and that'll really block a couple of the hatches there for Vitoline. With both of the Electros completely deployed there. Chaos, though, now going towards the bottom main stairs. The 2 Skyros left. You can imagine that means they're probably, you know, debatably trying to push here this main church wall. And pretty old take here on this basement defense. Has been around since the origins of at least, you know, this version of the map has kind of been a thing, and pretty common. Not really seen very much anymore. I think really the last time you see it a lot in competitive play was when Gogo was on G2, and they would make that push quite a bit here. But again, really stalled out here. Is he, you know, still in a 5v5, 45 seconds left on the take. They're going to have to figure out how to make the push. He's cannot see Red Groove there, but Renewal's actually out of blue, especially considering those affixing bolts are coming out. Renewal's on to P4, on to Blue Stairs here. The second push coming down from the back. He's looking above, going to rotate out, take some of that fire damage. But Kukas there and Durza really looking to get aggressive and take control, but he's actually going to be missed by Red Groove, and then Red Groove going to trade there with him, as that's a double double trade there, and we're in a 3v3 situation, and that's going to be Kukus going to go down from tunnel by Secretly. Chaos on to Shate, and that's a double here as Renul's really left him blue. Secretly trying to get a kill. He does get it on to Shinka, and that's Chaos. He's going to get a triple onto Renul's, looking for the fourth with 3 seconds left, and the plane is going to go down. Secretly knows he has the time to push as the round timer has expired. 1 second before he comes up. Can Chaos pull it off? And he can! And Izzy gets the kill there. That's Chaos for Izzy. On to Secretly on an absolute whiff from Secretly. What in the world was this? What are you doing, Chaos? Secretly. You're killing me. You're killing me. That's twice. We've seen the smoke from tunnel lose a round, one on each side, Chaos and Izzy. And oh, the round was in Chaos's bag, but beautiful shots there from Chaos, the player, and won the round for Izzy. Absolutely freaking insane. In any case, we are going to go back underneath to Church Arsenal as Chaos, I think, honestly, probably knows they threw that round. And so we are going to see that go back underneath as they're fairly confident. They've got to be pretty confident here that they can actually retake this site and hold it down here in round number 8. So is he actually putting themselves in a pretty good situation here? Already up the first round on their attack, now 4-3. Of course, we did see Chaos go up 2 rounds on their attack before finally being stopped just a little bit there by Izzy and then ultimately evening it out. Really looking for Izzy to pull ahead here, and assuming they can get 5-3, that's going to get in Chaos's heads, I'm sure, just a little bit, knowing that they're that much closer to the 7. Curious to see if we do have any roam presence here from Chaos, but in fact we will not. So they're basically going to try the exact same strategy again. Shante coming back down, so it's going to be all 5 underneath again. They imagine, they think it works, so curious to see how this is going to go, and a drone clear has got to come out pretty quickly here from Izzy, once again realizing there are no roamers at all on this map. As we say that, Renul's really pushing up blue stairs. He's going to be spotted there by P4, coming immediately back down after kind of overplaying it just a bit, as P4 now getting aggressive, coming towards the blue stairs. Renul's hears him. He's got the long angle. He's got to know he's there, and P4 actioning on that information. He has completely fallen back and just buying time. So it was a really, honestly, a good minute there, kind of baited and wasted by Renul's against Izzy, trying to slow down that time for them. And Durza now coming down main stairs, trying to get some of those Eagles off and open with that skeleton key, which is going to be super powerful here, trying to go long and open into the hallway here, and really watching kind of what some people call the pulse corner at the bottom of main stairs, which a lot of teams will play that cardiac sensor with this 20-meter plus range up the stairs to really get quite a bit of information for, their respective teams there. But Sheikah now struggling, trying to figure out how he's going to be able to get that wall, as he's not. They don't have the Thatcher and the tunnel kaited, and it's impossible to get from underneath unless you have some kind of nade or something like that. And Durza is going to rotate around, I assume, to go get that with that frag grenade. And that is, in fact, what is going to happen. He is able to get that off, so Shink able to rotate back out and open up the tunnel. Extremely key for the take here as we go forward. 1 minute left. Quite a bit of time delayed and a bot here for Chaos underneath, playing on that defense. But, they are getting prepped for the attack. That is iZiDream trying to get prepped here for the take. It is still a 5v5. This is extremely common. A lot of people are like, how in the world do these professional teams that manage to go into a 5v5? But just like that, Durza able to go down on Renul's there with the frag grenade from blue stairs all the way down and across. And that's going to be blue control gone there for Chaos. But Red Groove watching it very closely from behind a shield in the front of Arsenal here. The smoke is going to come out from Kukus, and you can imagine the push is going to come across there. The spray going to come out, actually able to take quite a bit. Durza a double kill, but he's going to actually go down there from Red Groove. And now secretly able to get another one. And the spray just coming through the wall and just absolutely crushing everybody. And Red Groove and secretly single-handedly demolishing basically blue and a tunnel there on a pretty brilliant play. The push again committed to not the right spot, and a lot of utility kind of gone and burn out trying to get the take, and we're back into a 4v4 all tied up. And ladies and gentlemen, this matchup could honestly go the distance here on all 3 maps. So settle in. You might have to deal with me here for the full 3 hours. You take your pick or leave it. I'm going to be casting either way. You're more than welcome to come in and hang out as we go. Chaos now rotating back upstairs towards CCTV Cache from following their basement victory, and not really changing the lineup too much, and they know it works. It's a pretty versatile lineup here for both sides. You can see Red Groove shotgunning out the wall there, and that's to provide Shate with those bandit charges, a little bit more audio cues for the bandit tricking on the wall. And I'm imagining he might or might not bandit trick. That's more prevalent when you do have a Thatcher kind of on the board and you're trying to burn out some utility without wasting yours. And bandit tricking is trying to bait and play against the hard breachers when the Thatcher's there. So you kind of outplay and outsmart the Thatcher and try to at least take out the hard breach utility that we still do have a double hard breach of here on the attacking team. So Shante using those extra audio cues that have been opened up through that reinforced wall for just a little bit more information about what's happening on the outside of the wall. And then Izzy, as we also saw in Chaos, kind of wanted to touch on, pretty prevalent here on Clubhouse to bring the double hard breach on basically every site. With the amount of walls that are necessary to be opened here, there's so many options to actually, open and close, reinforceable walls on the separate sites or even on the takes across. And P4 actually able to take out renewals there, and that's going to be the Jaeger playing underneath in Garage. And we do have yet another player underneath, and that's going to be Vito trying to play against P4. The bandit charge is going to come off. He's actually not able to connect, and P4 going to go down from above, though, on that angle we saw open up from Shate. Just put the bandit charges right back, and there's that bandit trick we talked about. And so that is one Texan Dynamite exothermic charge down, and a great play by Shante, and that's a perfect example of what we were just talking about. Kugos now knows he still has to dispatch that Maestro, the ACOG, so prevalently played there at the top of Garage, and he does have the full wrath of his crossbow utility still available. But he was going back to really the utility usage here. Vito able to take out Chaos. Durza looking for the trade and the refrag. Vito going to get aggressive, and he's going to go down, though, to Durza as he's going for the drone and bait himself out. Shate going to peek up, looking for a second, and almost closes out onto Durka, but not quite, as Shate now sitting right on the main wall still. Shinka giving up there, trying to open up the walls. It's going to be unsuccessful. The utility gone. No option unless Durza can pull out a miracle here from underneath to open that up. Minute 15. We still have all 3 toxic babes still left for Red Groove. But again, really talking about that double hard breach. So for instance, on this site, you need the double hard breach here to be able to open up the bottom of the garage wall, which is a pretty prevalent open. To be able to open up the construction wall here, both of them, one into cache, the one on the back, and then the main wall. And so just like that, that's going to be basically the max capacity for both Hibana and Thermite, assuming you get all of them off perfectly. And that's just this one site. You go downstairs, you have that back wall. You also have the hatches you really kind of have to worry about and try and deal with. And now Shate rotating around and bandit tricking into construction from the cache side. In any case, the wall is finally going to be able to open up by Sheikah, thanks to the support from underneath there by Durza. With 28 seconds left, the execute's being prepped. Kukas is going to actually go down, though. Secretly being hit by the fixating bolt, trying to get aggressive and make the peak. But the execute will have to happen with 15 seconds left. And that's really going to be only 2 members of Izzy left to make the execute. Secretly going to be poised perfectly to hold them off with the OMG from Garage. And 8 seconds left. The take come out. Red Group gets one. And he can't quite connect. That's actually going to be a long shot by Sheikah onto Secretly. 3 seconds left. Not able to connect at the top of Cache stairs, and Shate and Red Groove close it out there onto Shinka and Kukus. Absolutely great round there by Chaos, and that puts them back at a round advantage for the first time in a few here. And we are 5-4, 9 rounds into the match, and neither team really willing to go down without a fight. And we are going to go upstairs to Gym Bedroom. Again, pretty standard lineups here from both teams. We talk about it over and over, with the exception of kind of that change up breaking out the castle for Red Groove. No really need to 6-pick onto that, as that is a staple of this Gym Bedroom hold. Trying to deny some of the easy ability to stop the bandits on the main wall. That'll be Shate. You know, potentially some teams use it to close off logistics. We didn't see that last time this site was played, but we could see it here. And then also, you know, just basically onto really these windows right there onto gym and bedroom to hold off right where kind of Vito is, where the bandits will be placed there on tub wall. Actually kind of almost surprised the amount of castles you expect to bring out here, that we don't see the sledge, you know, maybe over the Zofia on this side at least, or, you know, instead of the buck, etc., whatever. But in any case, you're going to have quite a bit of utility to burn, trying to get those castles open, or, you know, an inordinate amount of melees onto it. A lot of teams also, I was curious to see if Chaos will do it. We'll completely full close off here. You talk about kind of how pro league or competitive teams play wide and across laterally. You know, for instance, they're playing over here in gym bedroom. They've completely reinforced the CCTV wall and the cash wall, and that's going to be so red group can really play aggressively here in cash and CCTV, kind of like we saw Shinka do in the last half of this matchup with that SMG-11 that just did so much damage and stalled out Chaos pretty badly here. Secretly actually put it a sliver of health, and I guess that's going to be from the drone hole, I would imagine, there by Shinka, actually, that did quite a bit of damage there to him. He's actually put it a quarter of health pretty early on. That's unfortunate for Chaos. Red group now still holding pretty strong. Just have that rotate on to cash stairs. Chaos is going to spot him, though, and he's going to be hanging very patiently, but Durza in garage and really going to be looking along with Chaos to close it out. The bandits are on the wall, but now it's going to be Red Group's time to shine as he is being droned down. The wall will get opened very shortly, and they have garage control. So he does have that rotate, fortunately, into cash, and he's going to use it now that he knows that both of them are coming around. But curious to see if he's going to get any support here from any remaining 4 players from Chaos, but no, he's just going to end up left alone here. Shante still holding pretty strong against Shinka. P4. Kind of baiting the window, but really not able to do much there, because you do have that ADS blocking the use of the lifelines unless you burn them out with the ADS, or excuse me, with the flashes. And there it is, just like we talked about, Chaos burning it out, and the castle is going to open up, but he's going to go down at Raptor Renewals. Takes out P4. P4 had just managed to utilize some of that utility, so the bandits will still be on the wall, protected by the shield, as the second one not able to come off there. Fortunately, Chaos trying to flash out, but Red Group still left alive, actually, in cash. And again, they're just really leaving the side. Durza gives up, starts to rotate around and out. Big Sandy Bolt is actually going to finally be able to get it off from Kukus there on to main wall, and Shate rotating back down on to main stairs. And that is the wall open finally after a lot of utility burn, and they were able to get that open. So they're going to have to go, what looks, again, you know, potentially for the plant from the gym side, despite this little bastion of a defense here in bathroom by Secretly. He does have one more toxic bait left. Again, we're burning those out right near the end of the time frame of the match. 30 seconds left, and Durza gonna be able to get Secretly, actually. So again, a great utility usage here, trying to burn out some of the defenders as the take is gonna have to come in here. Chaos is gonna go down there finally to Red Group from the cash, and that opens up the wall, and he's going to get the second kill onto Kukus, and that's now into a 2v4. Durza with the skeleton key kill, pushing down main hall, but now Shinka left alone in a 1v3, and Chaos looks to go to match point, and they are going to go to match point there as the final kill closed out by Renewals on to Shinka, and we're now 6-4. Chaos finally coming in here to try and set iZiDream in their place. Chaos coming absolutely alive on the defense. Now up 3-1 as far as their defensive half goes. All they have to do is win one of the next 2 rounds to prevent it from going to at least overtime before they have to win it again. And to do that, they're going to go downstairs, where they won pretty decidedly at least once, and then lost the once there on the back of kind of that whiff we saw earlier between Chaos and Secretly. Chaos able to close that one out. In any case, we are going to go underneath, and no really story change here. They bring out the exact same lineups we've seen every time for this site. No big difference there. And it's something we talk about a lot, and you kind of can tell depending on both the experience and the time available to teams, you know, the professional level, whether they have a ton of time dedicated towards what they do in the game, or they have, you know, paid staff, depending on the level of gameplay you're looking at, is kind of the research in this study, the ability to read into an opponent's, you know, strategies, at least, you know, on every side, every map. And both these teams have played quite a few matchups here in this qualifier. I'm wanting to say, if I remember correctly, they both played anywhere from 8 to 10 maps in the qualifiers. So there's plenty of data to research for both teams, how they've at least played with more recent strats. I'm sure at this point, now they're in the losers bracket, they've not really concealed any strats, as they have at least lost one matchup. Shantae actually sitting right there on main stairs, waiting to almost what looks like peek down onto the tunnel take, but that's not going to happen as drones do come out from iZiDream and spot him out there. There's a very well aware of it there, and we just see the pre-fire come out. Now they start the roam clear, and again, looking at the roam clear, all 5 members of Chaos are back downstairs, as we have seen nearly every time again. So you can imagine, no change here. The roam clear coming out pretty quick. So anyways, back to what we were talking about. We were really talking about how the differences of teams really show on kind of the preparation levels for both, and then just the ability to give different and multiple looks, you know, for each side, etc. So like you don't see the same team doing the exact same strategy against, you know, the exact same players. Oh, the miss there on the flashbang, and rules trying to get a quick peek on there, and you know, because that prevents you from being read like a book, basically, right? So you're gonna see them read like a book or closed out if they go the same way. If they try a different strat or they push a different way, it's gonna be a little bit harder to read. And you can imagine they're always on their toes, and teams with decent staff, large staff, or time on the hand of the players, that can really go to show is just the varied strategies, the ability to read into the players. And now P4 looking to dispatch Renewal series, actually not going to be able to take it out by that at all. But both ADSs now, having been burned out, he's actually pretty safe. Save the fact that Kuko still has the asphyxiating bolts there left for him on blue stairs. So quite a bit of utility usage still left to get Renewals out of this spot. But P4 actually rotating all the way around that. He's burnt his utility trying to take him out down towards main stairs. Red Groove at half health. He's been extremely instrumental, him and Secretly, on the last basement defense that we saw. And then looks like the take will now come from the bottom of main stairs. Shate, a C4 kill there from underneath in church onto P4. That's over on the bottom of main stairs. And now Vito, formerly Vitaland, is sitting there in Moto, as most people call it, and he has been flashed. The take is going to try and happen here with just 30 seconds left. Chaos is going to have to do something, but curious enough here is they're not going to be able to open up that church wall, but still kind of sitting on that side. Diffuser dropped with 25 seconds left as Shinka rotates around, so there is no diffuser right now in hands of iZiDream. 20 seconds left, they're just going to let it go, and they're going to look to frag out and not even bring the diffuser. They're looking to get it. Renewal's able to get on to one, and that's going to be at the bottom of the blue. Secretly now looking to go. Durza actually going to come all the way down in main. Vito, it'll take one. Durza drops, but he's going to take taken out by Secretly from tunnel there. And it's all up to Shinka. The fuser drop, not in hand. 3 seconds left. He's going to have to go down the kitchen hash, and he's going to get taken out at the very bottom by the shotgun of Vito on the Cade. And that is map number 1 for Chaos. Give a couple seconds here. We're going to map number 2 as Chaos looks to close down, advance to the next level, and the second map will be on Border. Stay tuned, everybody. There's the final scoreboard for this half. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back here in the second map for the matchup between Chaos and iZiDream. This time, Chaos will start on defense and iZiDream will start on attack. Again, the map is a border. Chaos having won the last map 7-4 on Clubhouse, although really not decisively. We kind of look at the way both teams played. It was neck and neck up to 4-4, and then Chaos really just kind of took it on defense, went all the way 7-4, closed it out. No real worry or issue there, as they just played really well at the very end there. Or was it 7-5? Sorry. And anyway, we're going to go here onto the second map. Chaos up one map, so they only have to win one more to advance to the next stage here in the qualifier. And this time, no Maverick, but Thatcher and Habana. So Thatcher being a pretty consistent band between this map and last. Mirror coming out. Yet one more defender op here on border. The Thatcher and the Habana actually pretty key again to this map, is really looking at kind of the ease of access of a lot of those hard breach required walls. So the Habana obviously limiting quite a bit of utility there for Izzy on the initial attack, and then Chaos when they flop sides, leaving the Thermite open, but the Thatcher gone is requiring them again to get creative there, especially on that main armory wall that you see a lot of teams push, you know, a Buck or a Zofia, pretty similar to Clubhouse, up underneath armory in order to kind of push people out of half wall, which if you're not super familiar with the map, or at least the callouts, I'll show you in a second. And then also to be able to get some of that utility off that main armory wall there, at least on that side. And the Habana, again, limiting the team to really only Thermites. That's only 2 holes that they can open up on a hard breach wall, because they're not bringing the Maverick out. And then Mira, and then obviously the Echo Band, and that's going to be a pretty big information denial, but then also just kind of a plant denial here. We're going to go downstairs. Interesting enough, most teams will start upstairs in armory lockers, but we are going to go downstairs to customs and supply. What is typically considered, and again, I say typically, depending on the team, considered to be one of the biggest offsites in the map. Like, you know, you'll start upstairs, typically you'll see teams then go ventilation workshop, and then fairly often bathroom tellers, depending on the actual team preference. Again, so just so everybody's tracking, if you're not super familiar with the map, there's only one hold upstairs, but every single side of the map basically requires a hold upstairs. And again, you know, you'll see a lot of teams, if the site's below, you just play it exactly the same way you'd play the site above it upstairs. And so what I'm not going to be surprised to really see here is a hold from Chaos upstairs with 90% of the operational power they have here on defense. So they try to really hold what is not a very common sight. And Shate looking for potentially a run out there, right out main door. Red Group playing underneath, but then the remaining 3, Renewal secretly and Vito playing up and above. And Renewal's really going to be that first point of contact, it looks like, against this northeast push here by iZiDream. Secretly trying to get slightly aggressive with that SMG-11 almost, but we're trying to look at where this push is coming from. And Izzy, the first minute about on the drone, nobody's really entered yet. And then, you know, another common thing that we saw on the last qualifier between, at least that I cast, between Fours and Pato, Takalipsa, was this double kind of play of both the mute played by Red Group here and then the Mozzie by Vito. And that's going to be a lot of information in Isles if you actually were able to stop or hit all 3, at least one drone per. That is 7 out of 10 possible drones taken out of the equation between the 4 mute jammers and the 3 actual ability. But he's going to actually get closed out there on a CC as he looks the wrong way. So Renewals, and secretly with the double kill there onto P4 and Kuka. So we're now into a 2v5 situation, a minute and a half in. So information denied there by both that Moz and the mute. We were talking about really not playing in iZiDream's favor, as they are now very quickly at a massive man disadvantage coming into the second half of this round. Shate rotating back up east, still trying to play that information. They've got Thermite down at the bottom. That's Red Group going to make the call, and you're going to actually see Vito take him out there from the main door, and Chaos actually not going to be able to close out, and secretly he's going to go down. Not sure if Chaos knows it, though. He's waiting for the potential refrag, and I don't think he does, as he's rotating off and away and actually downstairs. And now still in the 1v5 situation. He's going to get trapped into small office. Wait on the double peek. He's going to take out Shate. Goes for a second on Vito before being traded. That's almost a triple kill if you count the down there by Chaos, but eventually closed out there by Red Groove. You got to give props there to Chaos. He's actually had a really great couple maps now. You know, the first map, then this one thus far, but the first round does go to Chaos as they start off strong here on Border on kind of that downstairs hold. And now we're going to go back upstairs to Armory, Lockers, and Archives. Something that, you know, obviously we expect to happen here, you know, coming in to what, you know, is their second map, and they're up just a little bit here already. But Armory, Lockers, Archives, really what you expect teams to start with. But they did go downstairs, and they did take that really strong upstairs hold we talked about before. And Izzy really honestly just played right into their hand, and secretly a great double kill there with the SMG-11 up in CCTV. And there with the assist of the rest of Chaos, able to do pretty well for themselves. That was Renewals over there playing on the Jaeger to shut down this upstairs push, turn it into a 2v5, and then really just kind of close it out from there, no questions asked. So now we're going to go back upstairs to what is typically considered the typical starting site for most teams, and curious to see how that goes. Shante choosing to kind of stop this wall here. And important to note here also is with the new extended range of this Electra Claw from Kaid, which it used to only be 2. With this new extended range, you can actually get 3 walls. So you can only get 2 before, but you can actually get 3 now. So the utility usage for the Kaid also now becomes basically like a massive bandit, but then also can stop patches. Can't really trick with it, but you can stop patches and deny all kinds of other things, place them in creative situations. So Kaid really becoming a fairly large staple of competitive play at the moment. And so what used to have taken you both Kaids or 3 bandit charges now only takes 1. Completely stop that, and Shate actually falling off now from these stairs as now Kukus is on it. He does have to be able to open that long walk angle up onto the south balcony. They've got to have some of this information here, but kind of really looking at the push, it's going to be pretty slow again, you can imagine. Vito going to play right aggressively there on that break door, along with Renewals, who's really holding kind of the long angle with that evil eye. And you've got to be sure providing information towards a Shate for that C4 usage there on East Stairs, and super curious to see if he can actually pull this off. So you've got to imagine he's just waiting on the call from the evil eye. He's above, and the flash is going to come out, and he's really actually going to fall off now. He's been droned, but this is now basically honestly the perfect time for some of that C4 usage here if he does choose to go back to it. And he in fact will, and this could be a great play for Chaos if he can actually pull this off, as they really have CC and Brick shut down, and Durza actually able to take out Shate, and that is the C4 completely gone. And sorry I missed that one. Great throw there by Durza up and over the same direction they were looking for. And that's actually really, you know, going to be him from the roof that just dropped it down on top of him. And now the drone's coming out, but we still do have a minute. So despite being at a man disadvantage, you can imagine it's nothing too serious here. With sight locked down, with a minute still left to go. Shinka able to open up the wall. Finally, now the Kaid is gone and off the wall. The Kaid's also dead. We saw Shate go down. And with just at a minute left, they're going to start preparing for the execute and the take and entry in. It looks like they will be entering in from the office and fountain side. And Renewal's really missing the opportunity to take out Kukus there from the long angle on to East Stairs, but really unable to connect it. And Chaos looking for a kill. He's been absolutely on fire this fight. Almost took out his teammate there with the headshot, but did in fact not connect to that. P4 able to get on to Vito, and he's actually finally going to go down there. That's the Maestro by P4 on a double, and Durza onto a double as well, and that's going to be from underneath. P4 now pushing in. It's all up to Red Groove, but Kukus able to close out Red Groove on a flawless round from Izzy. So Izzy strikes back here, and we're now at a 1v1 here on Border. So now we're going to go into round number 3. We're going to go underneath the ventilation room workshop. Chaos really not in favor too much of that upstairs hold and going to rotate down. Kind of interesting, actually, to see how they held CCTV and Cash. Not extremely aggressive. Well, they had people in there, but they just really weren't winning their fights. They held that C4 for a really long time. He was run out multiple times, continued to play in the exact same spot, and then a great nade comes out from Durzo and absolutely shuts him down there in that office hold. But just kind of interesting is you've got to imagine there are drones coming for you. They know where you're at, but you're still going to choose to bait with the C4. They see what you're doing. There's going to be no surprise. They're not going to push through east stairs with the Maestro cam, the evil eye camera there. Noah, you're also there baiting and giving information. But we are going to see this extremely strong upstairs hold yet again, and really key to kind of this site. And again, this is half wall that we were talking about earlier. I told you we talked about it. Right there is half wall, and then this is the armory wall. So again, we talked about playing upstairs as consistently on when the site is below as you would if you were playing upstairs and the site above. And you're going to see actually Vito playing upstairs with that even line on these holes created and opened up, and that's going to really be able to deny this push in from the main door and the site window. And the typical default plant there is actually right inside that window, but with the holes opened above, Izzy knows they've got to take control of the top floor. You really actually don't even have to have a single person underneath if you're on the defense here. If, and again, I say if you have the holes opened up on to site and below in order to watch underneath and prevent the plants. That's really why you're going to see a pretty minimal presence underneath here. And by minimal, I literally mean secretly here, with the remainder of Chaos sitting up and above and trying to hold the site basically exactly like they would Armory and deny it out. The push is going to come out here. The flashes do open up, and that is going to be pretty much this massive push here, as the nade was actually unable to connect with the wall and take that Cade off. And the reason it was unable to connect, I don't know if you noticed there in the early on, is the Cade was actually placed here underneath the floor and is able, because of the range, to hold the wall from above. So the nade's not going to get rid of the Cade. The push is going to come out there through metal detector, which is that spot you just saw P4 kind of push into along with Chaos, but really nothing doing. And now a minute left. Izzy's going to have to pick it up because they have made zero aggression to where they need. They can take CCTV cache all they want, but that's why we have secretly here on the castle to really stop the push from that side, because it does not matter. They have got to get control of Armory, and they've got to get control of also Archives here. And now Sheikah looking to fight Vito on the half wall. He's pretty pinned here with this LMG. He's going to get pretty aggressed on. Surprised they're actually not using the long angle from CC to look over that wall and on the head, and P4 just waiting for Vito to get aggressive and is going to shut him out. Shate and Red Groove is still above here, right in the small office. And Armory with 30 seconds left, though, the take will have to come out pretty soon. P4 getting aggressive there in Armory. Shinka rotating around to the window for the plant, you can tell, and it's all banking on P4's ability to dispatch these guys sitting just above here. They both know each other's there. Chaos is going to be able to take out Renewals, and that's going to be from underneath. And looking to continue pushing. Chaos going to get a second. Red Groove onto P4, though, and that's still upstairs. So the plant is going down, but nobody's really stopping the plant. It's right where they have the look, and it's still going to go down. What are you doing, Chaos? Why are you not watching the angles you created? You held upstairs, and you let them shut it down, and now we're in a 1v3 situation post-plant. Impossible for Red Groove to retake, and that is the one problem with this side, is although you can hold pre-plant upstairs, you cannot hold post-plant. They're going to sit outside, they're going to watch you from these long angles, and with a sliver of health against 3, unless you go quick and go hard, you're not going to make it. And iZiDream is going to be able to close down there on the back of Durza against Red Groove there. A couple great pushes we saw there from Chaos in the back, and just to close out, but that still should not have been an iZiDream round. 100% should not have been an iZiDream round. Honestly, it's almost frustrating to watch personally, because they have above. They're doing all the right things. They've taken out, they've actually held upstairs, which is literally the only single requirement to winning when you play customs and ventilation. They had the peak holes open to the plant. They didn't peek them in time. They didn't go watch them. they didn't have the information. The plant was going down or something was not connecting right. The plant execute comes out despite them killing P4, who is the one trying to push them upstairs in Armory. And then just the retake is literally impossible. There's pretty much all there is to say about that. But, you know, just kind of great strategy, great, you know, attempt to holding it there. But then it just kind of fell apart. It's just some misplay there at the very end. And now we're going to see iZiDream go up again, 2-1 at the half. Curiously enough, actually the same score we saw coming into the first half of the first offensive half on Clubhouse, up 2-1. But in fact, that was Chaos. It was up 2-1 at the time. And we're going to go back over to Supply and Customs here for Chaos. This is the site they won the very first site they held on this map. And then we're going to see this really strong upstairs hold. And it's actually going to be a 4-man hold this time. So looking to be fairly aggressive yet again with only the 1 man playing underneath. And that's actually, if I'm not mistaken, going to be Red Groove here. And he's going to mute off the gel wall, which is what you're looking right there. But they do have that Mozzie mute. Double information and out, which did bite them in the butt so heavily. Not Chaos, that is. That was iZiDream. Got bitten in the butt so heavily there on the first attempt to take this time. But they are now focusing on CCTV like nobody's business. And that's going to be Kukus there along with Shinka and Chaos, who's been a pretty strong entry fragger here with the Nomad thus far in the matchup. Shate sitting there at half wall, trying to watch through Armory wall on to the long balcony. Chaos still holding strong on the rotate off, but they're really not going to have anything doing here. So they now have Vito rotate down and underneath to help out Red Grooves. That's the double information now back underneath, but Shate secretly and Renouls still playing pretty strong upstairs. Secretly is going to be spotted out here. He's got to rotate out. Here's P4 now getting aggressive with Chaos also. Secret completely falling off, but he's going to get topped out by P4 there right from CC, and that is CC control. So they actually now have pretty heavy control here of what they need to retain, and Renouls still watching that break door, unable to connect with Chaos when he pushed in though. Shate having dropped underneath. That's actually only 1 man left above for Chaos this time around, and not working out the same way that they expected from last time. Chaos now watching the rotate from east, or the push out from Fountain. You can see it right there, and you can tell that, again, you know, the strategy didn't change up. Red Groove going to be able to get a C4 there, and that is going to be down and above what looks like they're into CC. P4 into Armory though, and rotating around trying to find Renouls, who's again all the way back in offices. But Chaos and Kugus now looking to completely close out upstairs, get the rotate shut off, as we do have quite a bit of fragging power left alive here. Chaos having utilized all the air jabs. That is going to be the extent of kind of the rotation cutoff that they have for this team. They do have the Claymore left for Kugus though. Shate sitting in customs, going to take out that drone, so he's going to be spotted. Buck doing quite a bit of work, and that is Durzo. We've seen on Buck basically every single round of the match thus far, but Renouls still left alive, and not sure if they've just forgotten about him or if they just really don't care. And you know Durzo's sitting right there. You see him. You've got to see him. You don't see him. Why can't you see him? What is happening here? The kill is going to go out onto Durzo, though. He's looking for a second there. The take is coming out. P4 is going to go onto Shate. Vito, our retake on. He's not going to be able to get a second, though. And also, we see one more drop there, and that's Kukus onto Red Groove, and it's a 1v2 situation. 4 seconds left. He's going for the plant. The plant's happening. He hears it go down. Renouls trying to follow him. He's been pinged, and it's going to be an easy shutdown there from Chaos. And we're back to a 2v2 here on Border. Absolutely kind of an interesting round, to be honest. You know, it really didn't look like Chaos had that round until the very end. And I think, again, it was just, you know, either a misplacement. I didn't get to see very clearly where the air jabs were placed there by Chaos for iZiDream to cut off some of the rotations, or, you know, just a missed angle watch as they kind of never finished clearing all the way through upstairs before P4 rotates downstairs along with Chaos. They just kind of left Fountain in office open in the air, figured they had it, quote unquote, cut off. But then that's exactly where we saw, you know, the push come back and out from Renouls there all the way around and over. So kind of an interesting, you know, idea to at least take that side, is it didn't really pay off for them too well because they were just shut down, and then to rotate down, they had to drop patches. They weren't prepared for the take after P4 lost his fight underneath. It just was all over from there. And now 2v2, and Chaos is 2 for 2 on what is typically considered, again, like I said, quote unquote, the fourth site, you know, the worst site to hold on the map. We can go back upstairs. Chaos did not do so hot last time we saw this. Shate choosing not to bring the kite this time, instead the bandit with the MP7. So instead of one electric claw, using all 3 bandits on the wall this time. But he does in fact still have that C4 and the ability to kind of get that angle he was looking at. But you know, we talk about Chaos playing the exact same way they played and held the same site twice. Really, it did come back to bite him in the butt. iZiDream was able to read him pretty well, but then just shut down in the long run. They were just losing gunfights, and you know, it's what it came down to on that one. But they were able to read him, and they've got to be careful, Chaos that is, and repeating some of the same strategies over and over again here against Izzy. As they're not a dumb team. They made it this far in the qualifiers. They're pretty smart. They, you know what's what, and they're not gonna have to look to take control of this East Stairs again. Shantae, you know, again, baiting with that C4. Nobody really playing over there. But this stronghold, you know, what's really holding East Stairs, quote unquote, is going to be renewals from what I call Pansy Corner, or, you know, Wall Corner and CCTV, depending on the team you play with. Pansy Corner, just because you can hide there and hide there and hide there. P4 almost getting kind of pre-fired there if it had been a lucky shot, but really unable to connect. And Shate's really getting burnt out, and you can tell Durz is prepped and ready. The ADS is gone. He's got the impact ready and waiting once he verifies with the drone. Is Shate in fact still there? He's not. He's dropped down underneath. You can tell Durz is fairly upset. He sees a second though, and that's going to be secretly holding the same place. And Durza really waiting to kind of get this kill with the nade. The nade is going to come out. He's going to cook it. Bounce it off there. P4 able to get it, but then the wall is going to be opened up there pretty quickly there by Sheikah, along with the work up. Durza secretly is going to go down, and we talked about it. That now puts him at a man disadvantage already. He's down in 90. He's not able to close him out. What is happening? And Renewal is finally there onto Kugus there, and it's now back to a 4v4 after having just a straight push down East Stairs. And then the hallway. Chaos onto Renewals, though. So that's kind of the refrag. Looking up onto roof is Shante stuck underneath, and Vito's underneath. That leaves only Red Groove above here, with about to be the full bore of iZiDream pushing site. They've identified archives as clear. You've got to imagine they're going to go for the plant. Shante out of a C4. Red Groove still does have one left, but Vito finally back up and above, trying to watch this C4. Chaos looking for the kill. He is going to actually really not be able to connect it. That might have actually been some friendly fire there between a P4 and Chaos, it almost looked like. And Shante now back up and above on main stairs as well. And with 30 seconds, the take's going to have to come out. The C4 rotated underneath. We talked about it being super important to have that C4 when you need it. And the plant is coming down. Sheikah's on it. Can Red Group get the C4 off? He can't. But if he's still going to go down, Shante and Vito are going to get it. And Vito a second kill, and that now puts it into Izzy's court. Chaos going to be able to close out onto Shante at the bottom of middle. It's now a 2v1. 15 seconds left. The C4 is still available here. Chaos has been a great frag, though, and if anybody can do it for iZiDream, it is Chaos here with this AK-74 and its massive 41-round magazine. 4 seconds left, come out. One's underneath. He's going to go down there on the prone from Vito, and that's Chaos round number 5. And very quickly, Chaos now finding themselves at 3v2 and almost looking to be an exact repeat, at least side for side, of what the last matchup was. And you can imagine iZiDream really looking to make this a 3v3 coming into the second half on to attack. Back downstairs, Ventilation Room Workshop. We, again, you know, saw Chaos. This is where we talked about earlier. They had the setup. They had the strat right. They held upstairs to do what they needed to do, but they were really unable to execute the strategy that the holes were open above for in order to stop the plant underneath on the window. They just kind of missed their opportunity. The plant went down, which was absolutely kind of really surprising for somebody of at least Chaos's prestige here in the Siege community, the competitive community, their experience. And none of these players are new to the game. They're all experienced veterans, experienced Pro League veterans, and you know, expect just a little bit more there on that hold. And I expect that they will take it this time, as I'm sure that was a one-off really for them, which means, you know, kind of a almost a whiff round. They'll come back on it this time. They've got it. If they come in 4-2 at the half, Chaos looking really strong. If, again, I say if they come in 4-2 at the half, to take this match 2-0 there. Both maps, the first 2 maps, so 1, and they won't even have to look at console, which is the third and final map, the decider map. If you're keeping up with the G2 Eminem match, G2 actually did lose border to Eminem. It's a great match to catch out, and being casted in actually, I think, 3 different languages: German, French, and English. Is, you know, G2, it's what everybody cares about. It's what they want to watch. But having a pretty great matchup here between Chaos and iZiDream as well. Looking like we're seeing some pretty great frag work here from both teams and great holds. And I, at least myself, am enjoying this map really well. And again, this is the losers bracket, so whoever loses this is out of the tournament qualifiers completely. You know, the same with that G2 Eminem map. Both teams have already lost. So, or, you know, all 4 teams have already lost. So, really looking for these matchups to close out who stays in and who doesn't, and then continues on to try and play the final match here in the loser bracket before rotating back up towards the, you know, the upper bracket, quote unquote. And we're closed out. P4, though, walking right down East Stairs Hall, and kind of an interesting shutoff here as we're looking at who's holding on this side, and that's going to be Red Groove really trying to make the peak and the hold over. But Vito actually going to take the brunt of the inability to hold these stairs. Renul has the flank here, but it is castled off. Doesn't really have to worry about it. P4 has the ability to open the castle if he wants, but instead rotating underneath. So again, choosing to ignore basically upstairs here. Chaos finally able to take out Vito, and then that's also Dira onto Shate, and now it's a 3v5 for the defense here. Red Groove going to be able to go down and take out Kukus, though, looking for the second, and that is going to be Shinka there on the Armory balcony, secretly now fighting for his life. Renul's really hanging strong. P4 finally able to close out secretly, and that is underneath. That is a both underneath. Red Groove trying to go long with SMG-11, but that is not going to work with the SMG-11, and Renul's closing out there long onto P4, and it's now a 2v3 situation. They're finally realizing they're going to drop action, just go for the plant yet again, and Chaos has the opportunity to make this work this time. Renul's a dirty angle to the bottom of metal. Red Groove knows he's got to watch underneath, but they've got to dispatch Chaos, who's pretty patiently sitting here on Armory Balk. The plant could prep and come down here, and in fact is, you know, basically gonna happen. You know, you don't really have to worry about this plant going down. Both members are above. They're really not watching the take. They're in the default site. The same one we talk about every single time. They've got to watch the rotate, but Chaos is going to get both here. Can he get the second? He can not get the second. The plant's going to be stopped, though. Renul's at a sliver of health. Renul's a double kill, though. Triple on the round, and Durza going for the plant. 25 seconds left. He's got to get the diffuser. He does have it, and make the plant. The plant is going to go down. It's all up to Renul's to kind of spot this out. He's going to bait the plant. 20 seconds left. It's Renul's match to lose here. He's going to stick it out, it sounds like. He's going to spot him out. That is Renul is going to close it out for Chaos. They're going to go 4-2. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how that site should be played from upstairs. Renul's really carrying Chaos there on that matchup, taking man after man after man and getting a 4K on the round. And Chaos is looking strong, albeit, you know, on what a lot of people, depending on the team, will consider to be a defensive-sided map. They're up 4-2 on the defense. Not over-expected, but Chaos still went 3-3 on Clubhouse. They're on attack, so I imagine their attacks will be pretty strong here on border. All they have to do is win 3 of the next 6 rounds if they want to take this map and the match to continue on in the tournament. So really looking at them to be able to pull that off here coming into the second half of this match. Again, we have switched sides, so that does mean that Chaos is on attack and Izzy is over on defense. Hashtag color swap here. Blue now on defense, orange on attack. Don't get confused, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be okay. And again, actually starting, we're going to start Army Lockers, you know, kind of what we expected Chaos to start with there in the first half. But they did, you know, again, they really played that kind of new strat there. Not really new strat, but they played this really aggressive hold, starting and kind of swinging their experience into the match, pulling underneath right off the bat on kind of an offsite. But Izzy not looking to do that, as they are going to play above right into Armory Lockers the very first time, and looking at pretty confident. We do have a Goyo again out, but Durza did not work out for him on Clubhouse as the only round that the Goyo's brought. He was probably killed with his own Goyo. So We'll see if that is redirected yet again. We do have a Legion, not something we've actually seen, oddly enough, very often in this matchup, as a lot of teams will consider to be a pretty staple operator for any defense. And the armory wall actually not even reinforced here, so going to be super exciting to see how we get this open. Vito, just surprise, opens it up with a skeleton key. On attack here, and the angles are looking really long here. You can imagine iZiDream's got something up their sleeve. Is leaving that wall unreinforced cannot be an accident. So pretty interested to see how that's going to happen there. Chaos has got to get some drones out. Rel's open. P4 though on to Vito, and that's going to be with that LMG on a pretty great shot there. He's going to watch off as it's still Cuckoos and them both still sitting pretty confident. They're on that side. Chaos opening up onto East Stairs. He's going to actually run in and through. Secretly and Shante trying to push from break. They know, that one is still sitting East, and Durza still sitting right inside offices. And the one sitting East is Chaos. He's been absolutely an animal thus far in the matchup. Shante now on flank watch. Charged with watching the back half is now Secretly and the remainder of the team get ready for the take. Secretly's got an angle. He just has to be able to play it against P4, who's also been on fire, but he's actually going to go down there, and that's going to be all the way from Renewal sitting right there on the ventilation balcony. He's going to actually get double peek there by Shinka. Goose is going to be able to try and take it out the smoke plant, not connecting. We'll see that actually not connecting right there in the hole. Cuckoos can't connect either, and the plant is going to go down. Chaos coming back at it, and it's Shate onto Durza. Shinka back onto Renewals. Cuckoo's going to be able to take out Shate, and it's really up to Secretly and Red Groove, who's playing over in CC, watching the rotate. So really, Secretly is going to have the front of the brunt here. We're going to see Shinka come out on the first match. A double kill for Secretly there onto Chaos. The last one out and about. And going to be able to be shut down on a triple kill there from Secretly. And ladies and gentlemen, Secretly does it all. He gets the plant down. He gets all the kills watching the retake. And Chaos now up 5-2 here and looking more dominant than ever. And iZiDream is going to have to pull this back here if they have any hope of staying in the qualifier tournament. We're going to go back upstairs, actually, and that's going to be Izzy trying to retake that site. It's a pretty dominant site, so not, super surprised they're going to try and retake it. However, I do imagine that they're going to reinforce the wall this time. It's cool to try something new, but to be perfectly honest, I do not think worked out the way they wanted that to work out. And we'll just leave it at that. Chaos able to get the plan off right in the open wall, but iZiDream decided to leave open, and we're now at 5-2. Really great push from there from Chaos. They didn't overextend. They realized that the concentration of iZiDream was going to be on Archives and also in a Fountain and Office, kind of these back three rooms, if you're not getting super familiar with the map. And so all they knew they had to do was take control, break, CC, get this wall open, watch the flank there, which we saw Shate doing with the IQ, into the hallway, holding that rotate, and then go for the plant with somebody covering the plant, and then back off, and then just watch the retake. Shate went down, and we saw the flex over by Red Group to kind of cover the rotate, because again, you can't just leave it open. And then Secret just closes it out on the retake, and that was literally a textbook take on that site. Wall open or not, it would have been open. They would have done the exact same thing, as there just really wasn't an aggressive hold there in Armory, and we're actually not gonna see this hold opened again here. Either wall really reinforcing on Armory. We are going to see this kind of Dark Zero-esque strat there with the Maestro cam onto Armory wall. As you can see, it's kind of left open just enough so you can get a long angle there from the camera. And that was again, initially brought out there by Dark Zero. Chaos, though, and Cuckoos this time, sitting really aggressively here in CC, waiting on this push to happen yet again, because they are not going to let it happen. I think they'll really have to watch their back and break. P4 also getting aggressive as they're watching this Armory balcony, and they're not going to let it fall. Not one single bit. Cook's going to actually go down to about half health there. And again, this aggression getting pretty heavy here. But that is Red Groove that's going to go down there on the wall from P4. What we just talked about being open. Doc, Goose Wilson himself, and Vito underneath trying to get some work done, but really unable to do anything, and Chaos actually stalled at the exact same hold, except just significantly more aggressive presence in CCTV cache, and I don't think they were expecting it here. Chaos and Cuckoo's just really locking it down, and Chaos cannot figure out what's happening. They decide to rotate off, head towards Archives, make their presence known over on that side, and go for the plan. Is again, looking at the map, it's a pretty empty hold here. Durza and Shink and Artane back. People are also coming back. That is still, you know, at a 5-4, so they do have the man advantage. Renewals put a pretty significant damage along with Vito, who's now also on that wall, secretly able to get it. And Shate's going to be the one underneath using that electronics section. You heard the silence pistol come from there. Underneath to get rid of the bandits off and open. Secretly, the wall is open, holding the long angles from these stairs, but P4 patiently watching for Vito to mess up and slip just too far in the balcony door. The run out is going to happen. Can he get it? He can. He's going to get one, but he can't quite get the second as the reef trade happens immediately from Renewals there, running down the balcony. Chaos onto Shate. Renewals is going to go down. It's all really up to Secretly here on the take. Durza, that is the closeout on to Renewals. He's going to see one, but can't even close that out there as Durza takes out Secretly, and Izzy rallying back here on the same strat they just lost extremely decisively to. And we're back to a 3-5. P4 absolutely on top this time, along with Chaos. Both really having great games. And Chaos as a whole playing pretty evenly, but honestly struggling a little bit more than they should when a curveball is absolutely thrown into him. You know, and so they're like, okay, you know, we got it. The wall's open. They're probably doing the exact same thing. We know they're going to, you know, hold this exact certain way, right? The wall's going to be over. We just open it up, go for the plant. But then this is where it comes in to play, having to be extremely, you know, careful with giving the enemy team the exact same look at a site. And iZiDream did a great job of that and changing it up. And they just like absolutely mobbed this presence into CCTV and break. And held it down, preventing the Armory balcony there and the CCTV back from being taken, you know, and that's also with the help of P4 there from Army playing extremely aggressively. Presence was denied. Chaos is like, man, we wasted 2 minutes trying to get into this site. And, sorry, not the site. We wasted 2 minutes trying to get into CCTV and break. We aren't going to be able to do it. They're too heavy here unless we just absolutely get a miracle worth of kills. They weren't over peaking, so we're going to get any free kills. They've got to come off of that. They rotated around and over towards office, and then, you know, from that point, they just tried to make the take and they just died. They let, you know, P4 come all the way down as the slowest, you know, speed potential in the game and trade off one. And then from that point, it just kind of fell apart. They rushed in and lost the round. And now, again, we're seeing this weird, not weird, common 4-man hold upstairs. If you're not super familiar with that, it would look strange to you saying, oh, man, you know, the site's downstairs. Why do we have this heavy presence upstairs? That is nothing new. Again, you know, that is common and, of course, for par for the course. I mean, not be dyslexic there and fix that. But Chaos gonna have to get a little bit more aggressive. You know, again, we talked about that mid game and how imperative it is to, you know, take a pause, continue going, but then not stall out and not get under aggressive and still be able to maintain that pressure and the roam clear. And they've got to be able to keep that up as Izzy is roaming and playing really hard and not giving up angles as easily or rotating back as maybe Chaos is expecting them to here, and just really biting Chaos in the butt here. Vito watching from above there on that east balcony window, but they're going to have their task ahead of them, especially with only one arc breach. Remember, Habana was banned. He's going to get a free, though. It secretly drops down to P4, and that's the top frag for Izzy, down and out of the game. No refrag coming out, though, as he was down alone and unafraid. Chaos and Cuckoo still sitting very patiently above. Vito going to rotate down as they know they do have this opening. They're going to go for what potentially could be this bathroom take, opening up the soft wall underneath here. If you're looking into bathroom, opening up either the soft wall or the hard breach wall, but Shinka's sitting there, and they're going to identify that. Vito is going to be the one that will be able to make the play. Excuse me, the rotate will always be open, so he's not really going to have to work about doing much there. But Chaos also playing above in the holes. I don't know really, honestly, what Chaos is going to try and do here is, you know, it's covered from above. You know, they're really going to have to try and watch how they want to take this. And if you look, Red Group kind of in position here, and Renewal's watching from above. They've, again, opted off trying to clear upstairs, and they're going to go down. So unless Izzy just absolutely whiffs this, I am 97.7% positive. Yep, and there it is. Chaos closed out secretly. The plant was prepped. Renewal's trying to take out But that's going to be Shate onto Chaos. Kukus onto Shate on the refrag. Kukus going to actually rotate, trying to back and close out on Renewals. The plant's going to go down, but Renewals not able to close out there on Kukus. And that's a double kill. The plant's going to fall off. There's the C4 has been expended. It's now a 2v3 situation. 30 seconds left here for Chaos. And iZiDream just has to hold for 30 seconds remaining. They still have one Nitro cell in hand. They're going to save that and read Red Groove like a book and just barely miss that. We're going to see Durza go prone out here and try to watch, but the refrag going to actually come out almost here from the double peek from both teams. Vito able to take out Shinka. A second on to Regroove, and it's only up to Kukun's upstairs. All they have to do is go for the plant. And Vito's got to rotate around to cover the hash, and he is, and they're going to get the kill, and Chaos is going to go to match point. What an absolute read from Chaos there, and just out gunplay, and I honestly think they scared iZiDream to death there. And it just took them. You honestly look at the way they were holding the site. They had it locked down. They had the angles. They had above. All they had to do was wait. But then the movement starts. They start pressuring them from different angles. They start getting nervous. They start squirming. And when squirming happens, they start getting hit by angles they weren't expecting. Chaos closes kill after kill. And then it's now into a 2v1. The plan's going to go down, and all you have to do is watch for the push, and that's exactly what happened. Chaos now put at match point. For the first time in this matchup, we're going to see Bathroom Tellers come out. And again, iZiDream trying to salvage here, as all Chaos has to do is win one of, the next 4 rounds, 3 rounds here, before we go into, non-standard overtime. Just one of the next 3 rounds, if they want to advance to the next part here of this qualifier, continue on and send iZiDream home. And iZiDream now knows they have to win at least 3 in a row to even qualify here to go into overtime, and that has got to be a massive burden mentally here for iZiDream as they look to continue fighting this really unstoppable Chaos team, despite having, honestly, it's not been a bad match. We talk about just absolutely one-sided matches. You look back at Fours and Metacalypsa this week, as the round differential was plus 13 after 2 maps on Forza's side. They won 14 rounds to 1 in 2 straight maps. Totally, and that was a one-side. But iZiDream really putting up a great fight. They are not, by any stretch of the imagination, a bad team. But they're just being outplayed right now by Chaos on, what is some, potential nerves and rotates you wouldn't expect to see here from a really qualified team, and secretly Chaos has to be riding the high. Coming here into what potentially be the 10th and final round of this map. And then for the entire matchup, of course, battle for Chaos at 2-0. 1C4 is going to come out, and that's going to be from Durza, trying to recreate onto East Stairs what we saw earlier, and that would be from Shate, but unable to make that happen. Secretly is going to have East now, but they're going to have to figure out how to get, the bans off the wall. And that's going to be Vito, again, duplicating what we kind of saw the Buck doing before. And he's going to have to prep and get the bandits off. And is he going to get him? He's not. The ADS comes out. They did not burn like Izzy did. The ADS. And that's all. The frags is going to get flashed. Vito has one more frag grenade. He knows he can do it now. The ADSs are gone. Red Groove going to be able to utilize his asphyxiating bolt. Secretly able to actually peek down and underneath. And that's going to be P4. That's a huge kill. And that's one of the C4s from underneath. And that is their entire roam presence underneath gone. So he's going to utilize that frag grenade to not get the Vance off. He didn't miss it, so that's kind of a big oof there for Chaos from Vito. Is now secretly he's going to have to rotate around, and you can imagine they're frustrated about that, but it will come off. Vito's going to take out Chaos here. It's a 3v5. Red Groove has Durza locked in. He's actually going to down Red Groove, though, and the refrag looking to come out here from secretly. Durza feeling aggressive. He's doing pretty well. He's got the AUG, not the shotgun, as most would imagine you having. The wall is going to open up here. They do have the refrag taken by Vito, but he's going to go down. Kukus is going to take him out, and we're now into a 3v3 situation after a 5v3. Just kind of a couple whiffs here from Chaos, and holding strong, but the push and the take is going to have to come out. Shate onto Kukus, though. And Shinka actually going to be able to down Shate, though. And that is Durza on secretly renewals on it to Durza, and 30 seconds left. It is a 1v1. The diffuser is upstairs, so sight downstairs. He's really going to have to deal with where Sheikah he's over in workshop. He's watching the peak, and Sheikah will be able to close out onto Renewals with the SMG-11. And iZiDream takes round number 10, stays alive at least one round longer. Now 6-4 Chaos. That was 100% Chaos's round to lose, and Chaos just not performing like you would expect them to there. You know, at least after being a 5v3, they just started pushing independently. They were getting excited. They weren't pushing on, you know, together on information. They weren't acting on it, especially you notice there, Vito pushing in, you know, right there through Archive's window and then just getting demolished. Absolutely just getting shredded. He's not playing up for information. He's trying to take advantage of a situation. I got that. To close out. If he would survived, the round would have been over. It would have been Chaos's victory done, right? But they didn't do that. They didn't push off the information that they knew they had. And just all in all, not a good look there from Chaos on that round. But the benefit of it is they still have 2 more rounds before going to overtime in order to pull that off. And Chaos, big striding it up there. ADS is triple on that primary wall. And I can imagine they're doing the same strategy yet again here. The Goyo shield coming out did not kill him last time, so Durza feeling a bit more confident. He's now 1-1 with the Goyo shields. He's died once to his own and won once. So P4 now reinforcing the wall he didn't before, so curious to see how we'll see this utilized. This is going to open up, so I can imagine placing a Mozzie, or not Mozzie, excuse me, jeez, Evil Eye until it's that time of the day again. And Evil Eye there to watch down and out that hole. And P4 trying to play a long still Evil Eye in his pocket. And this focus is, I can imagine, coming out pretty strong here on the Office Fountain side. Yet again, Renewals at a sliver of health, though, despite no damage there done to iZiDream. You got to think almost, too, that Chaos is probably a little flustered now. You know, they had that match in the bag. They were up 5v3. They threw it and lost. They started pushing individually, and then now Renewals right off the bat is a pretty significant damage statement here. And is not looking good. Not even the default cams being got here by Chaos. Again, talking about how frustrated you got to imagine they are. Vito trying to get the bandits off the wall. Yet again, they are going to come off there. The wall is open, though, so that is of important note. Renewals trying to sit down. He's very patiently trying to catch Durza. He's going to get the pre-fire come out. Durza, despite being immediately traded by a frag grenade, is going to be able to take out Renewals on a beautiful information call there. Shate onto P4, and it's now once again in Chaos man advantage. Chaos, the player, looking on the back with along with Sheikah, and Cuckoo's all oriented pretty much on science, so the roam presence is basically gone. All Chaos has to do is asphyxiate them with both the bolts and man presence here. Chaos really going to be the brunt of this initial push, as you can imagine, secretly, and Shate. Oh, with Redgrove really coordinated to at least get him out of Fountain before continuing the push. They know he's there. They just have to play this well, and right a minute left. They saw plenty of time. It's nothing to be concerned about. Redgrove rotating and actually looking to use some of those fixating bolts for the first time, potentially, as he's not yet used those. He's actually just going to jump right into offices with some of the sound information there. Blocked and down. And that's going to be Chaos and Cuckoo's down a very minimal man advantage. He's not going to be hit by the firebolt, but Chaos is going to kill Redgrove despite being put at even a smaller health point. Shate looking immediately for 3 frag. 45 seconds. They're just going to bait them out. And it's not looking bad again here for iZiDream. 40 seconds left. They're just holding it. They've been winning their gunfights. Chaos struggling really hard right now. Shate going to rotate off. Vito is still around on that balcony, but secretly, again, choosing to just ditch Fountain again. They're just not closing out what they need to close out. And the peak's going to come up and on to the Legion. Not quite able to close it out there, but is going to be able to go down. It's now into a triple kill on the round. Double kill right then for Shate. And it's all on Chaos. They're fragged for the final second of the match. They do have the diffuser. Shate watching very carefully. Shate's going to go down, though, and they're throwing again. It's in a 1v1. The plan's got to happen. The push is going to come out, and Chaos is going to save it for iZiDream, and that is back-to-back thrown rounds from Chaos. And Izzy is coming alive. Chaos repeatedly tried to throw this out over and over again. And we're going into the final opportunity for Chaos to take this match. Chaos has been in main advantage 2 rounds in a row and then stalled when they need to close out. You look at the last round, Chaos playing Jaeger, sitting there in Fountain at literally 0 health almost. He is pushed and baited and baited. You have utility and you're like, you know what? We fought to kill him for 2 minutes. We're going to take off. Not worth it anymore. Let's just move up and on out of here and rotate around and allow him to be an extra gun in the final fight. Shate trying as much as he could to close it out there, but really unable to finish protecting the plant and the closeout. And not, again, a good look there on Chaos's part, despite being so dominant in the matchup up until really the last couple rounds, and iZiDream refusing to give up. I talked about it probably being a pretty mental game changer here for Izzy to be down and having to fight back and off of match point. But they just look stronger than ever. I think iZiDream should just went 0-6 right off the bat on the last map and make them really want to work for the overtime at the rate they are playing right now. An absolutely incredible hold here. Chaos having done pretty well here on this side, trying to push it in the past. Can imagine they're going to try and do pretty well, or at least hopefully do pretty well again. But again, you know, you've got to take into consideration their mental state right now has got to be part of it. They've got to be flustered after, you know, being at 6-3 and now throwing 2 rounds in a row. Misplays by everyone on the team, not just one player or an individual, and not able to close it out over and over again. They're going to open up into Gel there, and that's going to be Chaos down to half health now, immediately on a great peak. P4 having to rotate out from Customs because Gel has now been open, and that's going to be back into sight. And now the push has got to come out. We just can't have Chaos stall. Again, you know, they've been stalling over and over again, like in the mid half of the round, and not really making the aggressive pushes that they need to be to close out on some of these roamers, and it's been biting them. And if they do that again, they will literally throw winners this round. Chaos still sitting above, and if you look, it's a 3-man front upstairs, and they're all pretty spread out, to be fair. But now Shate hanging out in break room, and that's going to be kind of this initial push. Kind of an odd placement for Claymore. Is going to be shot right from the doorway, but in any case, that is at least a little bit of upstairs, you know, kind of control taken. Renewal's downstairs, and that's going to be in supply. Long angle opened into sight, waiting on that peak, really, from P4, rotating all the way around, and Sheikah, P4, just a sliver of health. Vito opening into bathroom, trying to close out P4, but really unable to connect. They've got to imagine, you know, again, P4 is like at literally 0 health here, and so all it takes is a 2-second push here, but P4 is going to play it off just enough. If you pay attention, that Kukos is able to like really basically trade out here for him in the event that this push happens out. The flash is going to come out, and he's not going to be able to close out as they do immediately trade there, and that is going to be Vito and a P4 just completely trading, and they're leaving upstairs again. Red Groove being droned in by Shate, and the gunplay has got to come almost immediately. I don't know if he saw Chaos, though. And that's going to be extremely important to note because he's sitting right behind the front desk there in offices, and he's going to get aggressive here on the peak. And Shate not connecting there on what could have been a great kill. He's able to rotate pretty freely all the way back. Shate going to peek. He's going to take Shate out, and that's Chaos gone, crouching down in the hallway. Shame. Red Groove moving back into East Stairs, and they had Chaos 47.5 times, but were unable to do anything. Chaos is about to put themselves. Renewal is able to drop, though. Not get a second. He's able to come in. It's now 2v3. Chaos puts it now to 3v1. Secretly able to get 1. Looking for 2 more. Able to get a second. It's now into a 1v1 situation. It is Chaos, and if anybody can save the round, Chaos can. And the diffuser is, in fact, going to go down. He sees it, but unable to connect. And he's got to drop if he wants. And this is tense, ladies and gentlemen. This is everything you want. It's Chaos, the player, versus Chaos, the team. And secretly, both great players. He actually just saw his feet there. Couldn't quite connect, and Chaos has got to make something happen here. The timer for defuse is not very long. He's watching it. He doesn't see it, though, and Chaos takes out Secretly. And once again, Chaos being the clutch player back-to-back for Izzy, and we are now going into overtime, and Chaos falling apart. What is happening? What is happening? iZiDream absolutely refusing and has us on the edge of our seat every single round, and Chaos, despite, looking great the past 3 rounds in a row, just absolutely just craps the bed when it comes to the take. They are going to go to defense, though, which they did play, 4-2 on their defensive half on, so I imagine they're going to be a little bit better. They are 2-0 on the custom supply hold. Hopefully they just vary it a little bit so they don't expect the exact same thing to be taken yet again here. But, it honestly just bothers me that Chaos is not able to pull this off. It's at the half, too, that they're losing it every single time. And at the half, they start to make this push. They do great, but then they cannot flesh out, for the life of them, Chaos on the roam. And that's Chaos the player, that is. They cannot flush him out. He's stuck there. He's been given a thorn. They have all this utility. They have literally, like, the flush out dream, right? I mean, like, they have the buck every time with his nades, with the skeleton key. They have the asphyxiating bolts. And you just still can't do anything about it. They're not able to connect. They're not able to get him on the angles. And that was kind of a misplay there, as we saw, kind of really from Shate and the team on the push there, trying to flesh him out of Fountain and Offices. But they're just not doing what they need to do. They're not massing as a team on the roamers, clearing them out, and then rotating back and around, deciding to leave him be. And it's been the people they have left alive every single time, continuing to bite them in the butt over and over again. And so now on defense, we'll see if they can't make it happen. And we talked about, if you're just joining us, this is kind of a double information denial here. It's so common now and competitive, and that's the Mozzie played by Vito and Red Groove on the mute. Really denying as much information as they can. It plays so key towards their upstairs hold that's been really prevalent and actually really strong for Chaos thus far. iZiDream going to have to be kind of aggressive and very pensive, though at the same time on this push. And Vito onto P4 right off the bat. And that's been one of the prime fraggers here thus far for iZiDream. And that will put Vito at about half health, but really not to much disarray as the entire team, besides Durza droning. And they've got to realize again, they've got to take upstairs. We've talked about it over and over and over again, but key to this side is taking upstairs. And secretly allowed to roam free here. Pretty much NCC is going to go down. Shate onto Durza, though, and they're looking to put themselves back again at match point. Chaos are refrag onto Shot's hand. That is underneath right there from the main door. And the whiff there on the air jabs. That's going to be one wasted. So a little bit of utility gone there. But now in a weird 3v4 situation. No real drone opportunity available thanks to Vito's usage of those pests on the Mozzie. And secretly holding strong there with this SMG-11 right inside security. He's got a really long hill there from Shinka, but this push is about to come out from Kukos and Shinka very quickly, and secretly knowing that is deciding to fall out. He has bought the time. Again, the role of a roamer is not always to get the frags. It's just to delay a lot of time, before leaving it. And Korkorus falling actually off that. Chaos able to get a second kill on the Teregur from underneath, and now it's on a 3v3. Chaos has been absolutely unstoppable thus far. Shinka on to Renewals, and it's down to 2v3 again. Chaos throwing man advantage over and over again, and Vito's going to go down. The plan's happening, and it's now 1v3. Secretly the only one left alive. The pink going to come out. They're both going to be there. He knows that they're all three in. He's going to get one. Can he get a second? He can't quite get the second here. The double push is going to come out with the flash. The smoke is happening there, but Shinka not really getting too aggressive. Secretly onto one. It's now in a 1v1 situation. Can secretly clutch it. That is the question. Able to take a few shots here, and he's got to bait it perfectly for Shinko. He's making the call. He sees him. He didn't get him, though, as Shinko able to close out for Izzy, and that is 4 straight rounds for iZiDream on border. Now putting them at match point for the first time since round number 6. And this has been an absolutely freaking incredible, retake there from Izzy. And Chaos has got to be sweating. They have not won an attack round in the past 3 attacks. Last time they won one was the third round, the third round into their attack. And they've got to be sweating here. And if Chaos can't pull this off, we will go to our third and final map, and that will be on Consulate. Not really sure, based on the performance from both teams, who's going to be able to pull out an off, as we've playing, pretty much a lot of the larger maps here. Border, Clubhouse, Consulate. Not necessarily the largest, because, of course, that spot is held by Villa. But both teams playing well, you know, off and on there on both attack and defense here. Chaos going 3 and 3 on attack both times, if my memory serves me right. 4 and 2 on, or they won 4 rounds on the defense on Clubhouse, and on this one, they were actually doing pretty well here on defense, but not really anymore. They went 2 and 4, if I remember right there, on their defense, and now our senior there. I'm so messed up. I'm so sorry. On the defense counts, but we know what we're talking about there. We know where we're at, and we're on overtime match point. It's all up to iZiDream here to try and take this, and they've been unstoppable. And if you look in the scoreboard there, Chaos going for that kill record for the tournament at least, and I think that is currently held right now at 23, if I'm not mistaken. 22 or 23, and it was taken there by Leon Gids against G2 on the second map, if I remember correctly. Absolutely carrying Secret to victory there. And Chaos trying to come alive here, and they're going to have to be aggressive. We've talked about it over and over, and that's been the story of the Chaos attack, is they have just got to figure out how to be aggressive and close out the roamers where they need to, and they're getting flustered. They're getting really aggressive early on, but then just faltering out, not really able to pick it up. And 20 seconds left in the second minute before we start in the second minute here, and Chaos finally starting to get a little aggressive and secretly really being almost quote-unquote the amateur fragger. He's the one that's gotten most of the kills there, and he's on the hard breach. So you talk about Thermite, more like Fragmite here. Vito going to open frag on to Chaos. I wish I had a track of how many opening frags that Chaos has had and then still lost the round, because it's been pretty much every single one, to be perfectly honest. And the wall is going to open up top thanks to Secretly's Fragmite charge, and obviously the site being down in Bathroom Towers, that's going to be the pretty strong bastion of defense there, but he's still going to be left alive there in Fountain, and as long as he's alive, that's going to be really key. Chaos is down, though, and that's the number one you really got to worry about, but Vito has got to push with information there, and he will push for information. Prepping that frag here to stop Cuckoos. P4 will take out Reynolds. Now that's going into a 4v4. Slight damage will be done, but again, this heavy hold in Office, and the Fountain is coming out. Vito is starting to make the push. He will see a couple, not really able to connect there or close out any and all. And a Fountain, there's a second kill for Vito onto Durza, waiting on this refrag by Cuckoos. Really won't make it. P4 holding a long game on a run out, trying to go for it. Can't quite connect. Shinko waiting on this push. Can't quite see it. Vito, a triple kill on to Cuckoos, and he's alive right now, and that's 3 trying to close out the next 2. P4 off and away on East, and Sheikah underneath now. Chaos looking poised to bring this back, but again, this is about the point every single time where they falter, though. Over and over again, they have faltered every single time right here, where they refuse to flesh out the remaining roamers before going for the take, and it burns them every single time. This cannot be the way Chaos loses this map, and could potentially throw down and in. P4 going to rotate underneath, and that is 2 Toxic Babes and a C4. Well, the C4 is gone, but 2 Toxic Babes left alive. Now it's going to come out from Sheikah on to Shante. You got to imagine the refrag looking to come out here by Secretly on this push. He's been absolutely alive. If anybody can do it, it will be him. But with 15 seconds left, it looks pretty strong here, and Sheikah's second on to Secretly. The push is coming out, and that's actually going to be a 4th kill there for Vito. Looking for the final kill. Not able to get it here, and the plant has to go down, and they can't get the plant. They're pushing the kill, and iZiDream takes the second map. What am I watching? Izzy just won 5 straight rounds in a row, and there's your scoreboard in order to take the map, and that was an absolute whiff from Chaos. They 100% had that round. They just had to go for the plant, and they instead trying to go for the kill and not able to connect. Again, just buying time on the roam, and then Chaos not really able to respond, and it's been absolutely detrimental. But in any case, we will be right back. Hang tight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here after an absolutely incredible comeback there on Border by iZiDream. And the story of that map was Chaos's inability to really get past the stall in the midpoint of the round both times, and holding a 6-3 lead there on Border. They then lost 5 straight rounds to iZiDream, and iZiDream won in overtime 8-6, which now has brought us to the cider map after Chaos obviously took the first map there on Clubhouse without overtime. Now on it to Consulate. Izzy will be on attack first, Chaos on defense, and the operator bans come out. Thatcher has been banned all 3 times now on all 3 maps. Will be brought out. Thermite will be banned, and that's going to be pretty important there for, the ability to open up there on the garage wall especially, and then, any other locations. Again, it's always great to be able to burn out one of those hard breach operators, because that then reduces the amount of things you can obviously open, because you have Maverick, Habana, and Thermite. Habana has a 3 Excyrus pellets. Thermite with the 2 exothermic charges, the Maverick with the 4 uses of the torch, as far as, bottle refills, quote unquote, whatever. But in any case, we will start upstairs, console office, meeting room. Chaos on defense, a pretty common starting site. In 1 second, we'll update the operator bands on the overlay here. And we do have it updated. So now we are underway. Chaos starting upstairs, and it's going to be extremely important here to really retain control of a couple key things. And that's going to be yellow, letting them not breach through yellow. And either way, and that's potentially the why Vito is opening up there with that 3-round short shotty. And then also really admin, depending on kind of the take that you're seeing happening, the way you are going to hold. Of course, it all depends on the way your team plays. But admin's going to be a really key part of this if that take does come from that side, and the ability to stop them, lock them admin. It's okay if you give them up, or, just don't let them flex out and start pushing down long desk in an effort to really close off the rotations from Chaos on site. With that, the round is underway, and Cuckoos is breaking out the line, and we saw a 6-pick come off for Chaos, so it would have been super interesting to see how that flash was played. I would imagine it had been played at probably, yellow stairs or somewhere along those lines, spiral, etc., to kind of slow out or get some free information. But P4 onto Red Groove, and that's the Echo. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to lose an operator at the beginning of a round, it's 2 of them. Primarily, it's Maestro and Echo, and Echo probably a little bit more important. Echo, the first time it's been left unbanned thus far in the matchup, and doesn't really feel like it matters too much here, as Echo's going to go down immediately, and that's Red Group, of course, by P4, who's absolutely on fire the past couple matches here, along with Chaos from iZiDream. And it's been, just a really key overtake again and again here by Izzy, as they've just been absolutely on fire, and that's really, again, the story of this matchup is just the ability for Izzy to not give up and continue to push. And Vito there on to P4, and that's going to be right at the bottom of yellow and is a send up. And so now it's rotating into a 4v4. We're going to see Cuckoos try to catch him there with the Lion E1D, but really unable to connect anything there. They did stall. Again, pretty disciplined here. Shinka trying to get up and on those windows, but that'll be Shante. They're playing right against them for any weird push in. And Chaos staying right on the yellow windows there, along with Cuckoos, realizing they're going to have to come up yellow eventually. And they're going to flash Renewals, who is playing up at the top of bathroom and yellow. No ADSs left. So those all have been burned out. And then underneath now, this advance is going to come up. But Vito, who's actually rotated all the way underneath, will have no angle any longer. They're on yellow, and the push is just going to continue to come up. But Renewal is able to take out Cuckoos, and there's no real refrag there by Chaos, who's been sitting on the drone thus far this entire time. Vito going to get spotted there by Chaos and rotate back underneath. Chaos not really on the heels of Cuckoos, trying to drone him up. Nobody else running them up, so there was no refrag ability. And despite knowing he's there, Renewal is able to really close that out. Renewal is the 2nd kill onto Chaos. The swing's going to go in. He's not going to be able to get the 3rd, though, as the C8 is too great there from Durza, and it's now a 2v3 situation. iZiDream, no stranger to these kind of situations before. Shate really going to prevent those windows from being used, and it's really going to be up to Durza to kind of break in and over. Question is, can he pull it off? And he can't really connect there with Shate. The refrag is going to come out there almost immediately from Shinka. A second kill will try to come out there from Shinka, but really unable to connect and secretly closes it out. And Chaos will take round number 1 here on Consulate. Really a back and forth, round kind of there. You just one way or the other, over and over and over again. But really, I think kind of key to that we've got to realize is that we lost the Echo within the first 15 seconds of that round. And when you're going for plant denial, Echo, Toxic Babe, C4, that's really what you're looking for. Again and again and again, right? And with the Echo, that's going to be the easiest one to use. It requires, at least and people are going to flame me for saying this, but the quote unquote least amount of skill. You can do it independently, right? With C4, you either have really great knowledge, great calls, or some ability to have some kind of information from another member of your team. But where the Echo drone, you really just get into place, utilize to stop the plant, etc. That's what I mean by that. But you cannot lose him, especially again when you're able to play him. It's a rare occurrence in competitive, actually, believe it or not. Yeah, for those who aren't super familiar with it, the ability to have Echo able to be played, and going to be a pretty key loss there right at the beginning of the round. So you have to try and hold on to him this time around. And again, Chaos playing that on the last map, customs side of things, customs supply office. The offsite, what most people consider imported, they're now playing the offsite again here on console. At least, again, what most people consider. A lot of competitive teams will play this one, will pull it out. Seen G2 pull it out in the past as well. But they are pulling it out here, and that's going to be this split site, which means that one is on the first floor there, which is the A right there in tellers, and then one underneath down in servers, or however you'd like to call it. And another key to this is going to be Shate with that cardiac sensor. It's got a 20-meter range on it. 20-meter plus range, and that will detect the heartbeat of the opponents and pop up on his screen there. As you see right there, it'll pop up, and he'll be able to provide that information all the way across his teammates so they have an idea of where those players are at. And this is P4. He's actually using the electronics detector to spot him, because that will spot Shate on it because he's using an electronic gadget. So P4 trying to connect with him, but it's actually kind of funny as we're seeing two gadgets completely in use reverse of each other here, as both are calling out the locations of the team. P4 playing all the way clean above, actually just gonna barely miss this rotate here by secretly off and into tellers. And that's gonna be Shirka and Kokois that's gonna have to go through tellers and in. Chaos does have this main lobby, kind of watching the rotates in and around, and Durza clearing all the way from the top. Now pausing to get on their drones, a minute and a half in, remaining calm and collected. Realize there's nobody on the top floor. They have it. The line call will come out. Secretly, though, is really going to be the one that's in trouble here in tellers, especially considering this push in Visa. Shate does have the call, though, or I would imagine he can see that coffee to watch the right half there, but he's going to start getting completely pushed from every single side, and secretly is basically a dead man here. He's going to have to use some of those toxic babes if he wants to try and deny some of that push, but Durza is up above, looking down, trying to spot them with that skeleton tree, trying to do some damage. Secretly not going to move. There's going to be one that's dropped, and that's P4 looking right in against Secretly, and he's going to have to play this really carefully if he wants to win this. He's got every single angle covered, and Durza going to be able to close him out there from the top on Secretly again, and Shinka looking for the refrag there, especially with Kukas down and underneath, but no one going to come up to help. And the cardiac sensor still providing all that information for the team, looking for the kills, just kind of pre-firing, but really unable to connect with anything. Chaos now to man disadvantage. P4 flashing himself, or not flashing himself, but I guess that will be Shinka flashing himself. But Vito actually able to take out P4, and that's going to be up from underneath on a long angle through the floor. And now into 4v4 with just 40 seconds left, and that's going to be really Durza looking to get yet another kill through the hatch. The plant is coming down inside as they have no real way to stop it. They've got to see this plant come out, and is it going to happen, though, is the question. They've fallen off the plant. They're trying to bait it. 15 seconds left. If they go for the plant, they're going to get C4'd. There's no doubt about that. Vito a second on to the diffuser. Another C4 comes out. again, onto the Fuser. Not another kill come out. It's in a 3v3 situation. Chaos and Durza both going to get kills. Red Groove onto one. It's now a 2v2 situation. Shaza onto Durza. The plant is going to go down, though, and the C4 is going to try and push up, but he actually misses there, and he's going to get it, though, as Shate is able to go on to Kukus. And now it is Chaos. 2 straight rounds in a row, as all they have to do is get that diffuser on a great play from Shate. Information and C4 abundant. And, you know, a couple great kills there from Vito as well. And Chaos, 2 straight rounds in a row. Don't want to get too excited, though, as, of course, we did see them go up 6-3 on the last map and then lose 5 straight rounds in a row in a G2 or Canadian-esque whiff, and just complete flip-flop. We're going to go downstairs now for the 3rd site on the rotation for Chaos, of course, before they can start back over and go back upstairs. Because, again, if you are just now joining us and you're not super familiar with the way this works, because you've never seen it in ranked, you know, because you only have 3 rounds, you just think it restarts. It is on a 3-round site rotation. So if you play and win a round, you cannot, or a site, you cannot play that site for another 3 rounds. So you win it on the 1st. You're not allowed to play that site again until the 4th round. So obviously, once they complete cafeteria, they'll have the option to go back upstairs on the 4th round. And Chaos looking really dominant thus far. But again, one of those maps that is considered a slightly defender-sided. Although, you know, depending on the teams, it can go one way or the other. But Chaos really showing that off right now. Shate does have the bandit, and be curious to see if he actually attempts to kind of hold that garage wall that secretly is reinforcing right now. You know, a lot of teams, especially if you look at, you know, other major teams, in an interview, they talk about it and they're like, you know, there's no way you can expect to hold this wall. You might as well play it like it's open. So we're not even going to try and stop it, because there's so many ways for you to get deleted from trying to bandit trick it. You know, you could potentially kite trick it, especially now with the new extension. You can get pushed from yellow there. Right peeked in the door, quick peek, take the bandits off. You can come to piano, bucket from above, even reverse repel there, basically with the Ash, the bucket, the Zofia on that window, shoot long and down into the floor piano and get the bandits off. And so there are a lot of ways to die trying to hold this team. So, you know, a lot of teams will play it like it's already open. But, in fact, Shate is not. So Shate is going to deny it at least just a little bit here. And the roam clear will start to come out. But if we look at the defensive spread, that's only Vito up above. Red Groove on the middle floor there with rules, and Shate secretly underneath. Chaos actually kind of prepped like right there on yellow, getting fairly aggressive, and Shate again realizing that he's going to get peeks like we talked about potentially from Chaos, who's actually been on fire the past couple maps. Vito has that drop down open into piano in case he does have to drop, and the drone and roam clear coming out from above, and that's going to be Durza, who is going to hit that goo trap. But really trying to find Vito has since dropped down and under into piano, or what's actually labeled on the map as press room. Playing there with Red Groove, a pretty common hold there in a bathroom with some angles opened up into yellow in order to kind of deny or stop this push from yellow. Surprised you're not really seeing Durza. I mean, I guess it is a slow push. But we are a minute and a half in the round and not able to connect with any ability to really stop kind of the bandit presence there on the wall. So we're just going to continue with this. And Vito going to take out P4 there right on yellow. On the push-up, Kuku's going to try and go for the refrag, but really unable to connect. Durza still above. And Chaos, we're going to be the closest ones there, right on the garden window, right next to spiral stairs. And he's going to have to make this jump in here in order to try and deal with Red Groove and Vito. Vito's starting to play fairly aggressively again. He's got to know Chaos. He's going to try and push him on with Kuku's there, right in the spiral mid-floor hall. And a Red Groove run behind, also now starting to get pinched there in bathroom. If you kind of look at the spread, that's going to be Shinka with the diffuser, mind you, trying to push in and clear from above. But Shate's actually going to take out Chaos on the push. So that is now down 2. And Durza and Shinka trying to close out into piano and bathroom. But Red Groove and Vito absolutely buying so much time here for their team. Durza starting to make the push, and can Durza close down is the question. Shinka trying to get this aggressive hold on to Vito, but actually really not able to connect. But he finally is able to close it out there on the piano, and so that's actually going to be Vito goes down, but secretly and Shate now put it into a 4v1 situation. Shinka now the only man left alive, getting fairly aggressive there on yellow stairs is Renewals with that extremely strong gun there, the 416C of Jaeger. And that is 3 straight rounds for Chaos. Again, all they have to do is win the next 4 rounds. Easy peasy, 7-0 clap. We're just going to close it out, go home, and call it a day. But iZiDream, I can imagine, is not going to let that happen. And Chaos choosing not to go back downstairs again, obviously, because they want it. They can't. Surprise. My mind's just not working right now, so I just said that. We're going to go upstairs to console office and meeting yet again. We talked about it. They're able to restart that quote-unquote site rotation here as we go upstairs, and they're looking to basically repeat exactly what they did. Imagine if they were able to come out of this defensive half at 6-0. In any case, we're actually going to see the Amaru come out. So we've not seen Amaru yet tonight. We've seen Goyo play on 3 separate rounds out of the fairly heavy amount of rounds we've seen tonight. Worked 2 out of the 3 times kind of decently, but really not like the center point of the strategy. But P4 here for iZiDream is actually going to break out the Amaru. And although, gets a lot of negative press, not P4 or iZiDream, but Amaru. Just, a lot of people, quote unquote, will call it the operator whose ability it is to make it a 4v5 30 seconds into the round. As in, they're the ones that die. But we'll see how it's played. I'm sure it has to be played well. It does have this ability to go up through hatches. If you're not super familiar with the gadget or you've never really tried it, it can latch on to hatches. It can break and drag her rappel-wise through windows onto the roof very quickly with this kind of grapple hook that just launches her. And I'm really curious to see how it gets used here. But looking at the roam presence here from Chaos, it's actually only Vito underneath with the Mozzie, while the remainder of Chaos up above. And we're going to see this pretty aggressive rush, trying to go upstairs. Renewal's able to get one, but P4 actually goes down onto Renewals, but Kuka's able to close out on P4, and it's now a 3v4, but now it's very quickly a 2v4, and it is not working out for them on this push. Friendly fire, unfortunate. The Amaru blitz rush there up through the yellow window, not quite working out. We talked about the ability to make it a 4v5, and it did worse than that. P4 actually was able to team kill with it. So, we're getting a new gadget utility usage, and that's Red Groove going to actually be able to be flashed here, and so he's going to be taken out by Chaos. He's going to get smoked, though, and have to rush down and over. The run-out's going to come out from Vito, and that now puts it back into a 1v3. It's all in Chaos's hands. If anybody can do it, it's him. He's going down into connector. Stuck right there between sites. He knows very patiently, secretly, he's waiting right on the other side. The C4 will not connect. The peak, is it going to come out there by secretly? The flash is going to come out. He's going to be flashed. He's going to push. Can he get some help? He actually can't. Chaos, the second kill onto Chaos, but then the instant refrag from Yellow by Vito. And Chaos win round number 4. We really talk about the Amaru putting them in a 4v5 over and over again. You just expect it to kind of happen, right? But then that was kind of a really weird rush. They rushed up yellow. You can imagine somebody's playing top of the stairs. They thought they were going to bait some utility out, do a lion call, etc., whatever. Rushing with the Amaru, close them out, and then rotate bathroom. They were immediately shut down. Friendly fire came out, and it just died right in the water. And Chaos, now having lost 5 rounds in a row on the last map, have now won 4 in a row on Consulate. And all they have to do is win 3 rounds of the next 8 if they want to take this map and ultimately the match. And to do that, we're going to go back to the split site. Again, talk about Chaos really preferring these off sites here on the matchups we've seen tonight. They'll attempt to try and pull it off, and it really was at the hands of some great information and great information play from Chaos in order to win the last one. So really looking for them being able to potentially pull this off again. But iZiDream, it just, we talk about the availability of the players, the availability of the staff in order to, provide some prep time, alleviate a lot of the problems you see on undermanned or under-timed players on teams that really can't dig in the enemy team that much or really can't prep for a map. And it honestly looks like iZiDream prepped really, really hard there for Border, but not at all for Constant. We're seeing them burn out finally. A good example of that, if you want to look retro, let's go back to SI in 2019, and it's, Empire and G2 who break the record for most consecutive rounds played on one map in an unlimited overtime instance. On Coastline. Vito trying to prep and play here against P4, but he's actually going to get shot from all three angles. He's just going to rotate off now and drop. He just knows he's about to get pushed, saving the man, and rotate back down. Anyways, we talk about Empire and G2 going at it, breaking the record, but then G2 absolutely sweeps the next two maps as Empire. 100% not prepared to fight them on the other map, but the one that they knew they were the best at. Obviously, Empire's since improved significantly since then, but that was, early last year in February. But, just kind of a key thing to note, I guess, and really pays attention here is, this is a defender-sided map, but iZiDream is down 4-0. Durza going to get the opening kill on Secretly, and that's the smoke down and gone. He actually was able to do almost a little bit of work there in A before being taken off, at least as far as delay last time. That will not come out this time. Shotze trying to get a little bit of information there again for seeing with the cardiac sensor. Just imagine there's at least a couple guys up and above, but now the take is going to come out again and trying to plant towers. Again, we look at how heavy this post is there. Vito able to get a kill on to Durzo. Nothing else doing here really aggressively though, and Kuko's watching them rotate up Visa stairs from basement, not really finding anything. They have a minute and a half left to get to work, and that's actually going to be Pulse all the way upstairs, and that's Shate choosing not to play information, but going to go all the way upstairs and getting shot through the table by Chaos, but a second kill from Pulse, who's unorthodoxly roaming all the way upstairs. The C4 is going to come out. Can he read it perfectly? Going to do so much damage, but not able to close out there on to Kukas after a great read either way, whether that connects or not by Shate. You can tell really the experience comes off there. It now puts him in 2v3, and Chaos looking to go 5-0 here in this first half. You do lose the information, the cardiac sensor. You do lose a C4, but you still have 2 and the Yokai drone, which is still alive thanks to Red Groove not dying immediately like we've seen before, in order to close this out. 44 seconds left. Not much time for iZiDream. You've got to imagine the cluster again, the exact same scenario we kind of saw Chaos in. Really burning it. Kukus is getting it ready and at prep, but with the entire floor open, they've got to do something. He's debating, should I drop, should I drop? He is going to drop down and into server. Shinka able to take out Vito. Instantly refrag there as Renuls takes out Kukus, and it's down Shinka into a 2v1 situation. He's going to rotate off and around trying to get along it, but they're just going to bounce off the site. They know he's got a plant. They're going to hide. They've got Yokai drones. They've got a C4. They've got time, and he's able to take him out, though. He doesn't need the Yokai drones. He can just use the MP5 SD as Red Groove closes it out for Chaos, and they're now up 5-0 here on Consulate. And Chaos, despite really throwing the last few rounds there on Border, not going down without a fight on Consulate. You can 100% tell, 100% tell that Chaos absolutely came prepared for the maps. You imagine like Chaos up 6-3 on the second map. Like, they at least did their homework, right? They're coming into this one. They're up 5-0. They won the first one by a pretty decent margin, if I remember right, 7-3. If not, it was 7-4 on Clubhouse. And then coming into this one, Chaos has the player dedication, at least, with the time availability. I want to say dedication, that's really not fair to iZiDream, but the player time in order to really put into practicing these strategies. They have, potentially like your staff availability if they have any. And then you look at iZiDream, probably less funding, less availability here, but they are still a very experienced team, but you can tell that they were not prepared for what Chaos is throwing at them here on Consulate, and they have one more chance secretly, and the rest of Chaos does, that is, to put themselves at match point before even going into the attacking half. So, really key point to note there is they really could set themselves up to only have to win 1 of 6 rounds on attack. And I think despite even the whiff there on Border, could not stop that, as they were able to at least, take one or a couple there, on the attack. Or just going down and then that's down into overtime. So I think they can pull it off, but all they have to do is really hold this one. Either way, they'll go in either 6-0 or 5-1, and either one is extremely respectable, even if with it being a defensive sided map, what we call defensive side usually expect a team to take kind of 2-0, but the peak comes out from Vito onto Chaos, who was watching the window. And all the way down, I thought he had an angle, and I thought Chaos was actually going to be able to crush him, but Chaos has been absolutely shut down this map. Someone who just absolutely just demolished the scoreboard on the last matchup, tearing it up, is just now falling apart. Granted, upstairs will now be clear as Vito has it dropped underneath, but they don't need to hold top floor. They just need to be able to play in first, and Vito doing exactly what he did with Red Groove, be afraid that they don't get really played and baited out this time, as they're doing exactly what happened last time. We talked about changing it up just a little bit. They're not at all. This could prove kind of fatal here, as iZiDream trying to get aggressive down and into piano, but with a lot of the information gameplay being really pushed out. But Izzy both on drones and then Chaos on kind of the camera availability. P4 can be able to take out Vito, and then now looking to take out Red Groove, and his duo partner Ghani's left alone in a bathroom, and now going to be able to open up from every single angle. He is the mute. He doesn't have those toxic vapes. Those are underneath with secretly trying to protect as much as he can there with the shotgun up through the floor, but still putting Red Groove in an extremely precarious situation here, despite having quite a bit of utility at his back. Red Groove delaying a lot of time, though, to be fair, and Vito getting a kill. We're now at a minute left for the take, and they're really not focusing on the take. They're only focusing on clearing out Red Groove, which was kind of their bane previously, and now the wall's going to start being opened up from the back of bathroom, but they really can't get it. P4 trying to get the mute jammer, but can't quite connect, so the Skyros pellet's not able to go off. So now to come off, he's going to go down finally with the frag after burning the ADS, and that's Durza there throwing the frag as the buck onto Red Groove, and we're now in a 43. 45 seconds left. The question now is, can Shate put it into a 3v3? He cannot. Chaos is 40 seconds to hold if they want to be able to pull this off. P4 holding the yellow stairs. He's going to take out Shate, who actually tries to rotate up on kind of an unorthodox take up. But it looks like iZiDream will be able to take out at least one round here on attack. They prep for the execute. Just 20 seconds left. Secretly starting to burn out with all three toxic babes. Perfect storage of the utility. And hold. That is going to be Cuckoo's going to go down, but he's going to get refragged right there from yellow. Not really minding where he's aiming here. And Renewal's left alone and unafraid here. The plant is going to go down. Yellow above, behind white van. Beaks are coming in all around. Renewal's able to get one. Can he get a second there? He's looking. He's trying to get one. Durzo is up, and Durza is up above. Shinka down right on white van. Renewal's trying to get aggressive here. Make the push, but he doesn't quite have the time. He's not going to be able to get down on to Shinka. Shinka closes it out onto Renewals, and iZiDream does take one single round on attack. And now we're going to flip sides again, because that is 6 rounds through and at the half. And iZiDream flops to defense. Chaos flops to attack. And iZiDream, you know, we talk about doing what they do best when they go down and on to match point, you know, against them. So they're on the deficit after winning 5 straight last time that happened. Chaos really has to take this momentum on attack, which they have absolutely struggled with on border at least. But coming into this one, all they have to do is win 2 of the next 6 rounds to prevent overtime and win the matchup. This has absolutely been an incredible matchup to watch. As again, you know, we talked about, you know, some teams playing one-sided really, like we talked about like Forge versus Patacalypsa on Monday in the initial games is, you know, Forge won 14 to 15 rounds in order to take 2 maps straight in a row. But these guys have absolutely played so many rounds. And both teams absolutely make an outstanding showing. And even if iZiDream doesn't advance here and Chaos does, iZiDream has nothing left to prove. They are an incredible team, and they have performed so well thus far in the qualifier and the matchup, especially coming, you know, kind of from their position and not as much experience as Chaos has, but still, again, quite a bit. But absolutely respectable performance here from them right now. Chaos now actually pulling the bandits, so they are going to pull that out on the wall, but hopefully we'll see if Chaos here actually prepared to deal with that and get them off without having to be basically completely inside in order to do that. But Vito and Renewals rush clearing right across, and the drops coming out. They're actually going to go for this odd kind of rush, but dangerously is above. Chaos is going to take out Vito on this pre-fire right along. They read him like a book. And now Renewals sitting underneath in servers at work, but they did lose Vito in the process. And Shinka still sitting above. He was not droned out and is going to be very dangerous here in Tavisa. And Chaos begins to throw once again. The drone's basically coming out. Renewal's still trying to push up from underneath. Shate on yellow, but Renewal's really going to be the one that's going to do a lot of the work here if he can, you know, get overly aggressive. Shinka rotating actually up and above there with Cuckoos. That's actually 2 off site. Renewal's getting the drone from first floor, but now he's going to have the availability to push in. He's taking out the default cam. They've got to know he's here. He's pinging it. P4 knows right where he's at. They can hear him pretty clearly. It's going to be no surprise when this aggression kind of comes out. Surprised if he won't get peeked here from the back hall, as Chaos is really kind of watching this back rotate. Secretly going to be able to go down to Chaos as well, so Chaos can double kill. And it's not looking good for Chaos, the team. Here is P4 really looking to shut down Reynolds as well. He's not going to be flashed. Reynolds basically walking into what is essentially really a trap there on this side site. Reynolds trying to play off, and against Shinka, he's able to take him out for the penalty of just 25 health. And we're back in a 3v4. Definitely winnable here, but Red Groove has got to come down to help out along with Shante in order to kind of get some of these doubles angles. But Chaos has been playing so dominantly thus far. The flash is going to come out here. He's not going to flash himself. He's going to be able to get a second there on a P4. Looking for yet another. Shate is down. He knows where Chaos is at. Chaos a triple kill on the round. A quad kill and unable to get the refrag as Chaos once again is refusing to give up on iZiDream and taking this team through the qualifiers on his back. Now 2-5 again. You know, Chaos is gonna have to figure it out here, and for the first time in this matchup, we're gonna go to lobby press room. That's iZiDream's choice. Still leaving upstairs open, so you know, kind of just important to note. Kind of curious and interesting to watch. I don't know if you guys find this interesting as I do. Seeing how like Chaos started upstairs, Izzy down, then rotating to lobby. Chaos rotates to the split site. You know, it's just kind of interesting to see how teams play, and that's important to note, especially in the operator selection when you're playing against those teams. And that's all part of some of that analysis that goes into these things beforehand. In any case, iZiDream, you know, proven on defense, at least they're an absolutely formidable team. Absolutely formidable. And I hate to keep bringing up Border, but it just proves to be so relevant here. You know, in this matchup. And Chaos, I think, really comes alive on defense as well. You know, attack, he's okay, but defense is really strong, so you can tell he loves the roam. He loves putting the guessing games there on Chaos, and whoever dares try to attack him. And that's really paying off for iZiDream as they keep Chaos on their feet. And Chaos starts off strong, but again, it doesn't push coordinated in the last seconds or the last little bit, and they just don't look like they know what they're doing together, and they just end up losing it out over and over again. And here we go. We talk about how important upstairs holds are. When you're playing underneath, then they again have 4-man hold upstairs, and that's going to be Chaos, really the only one playing off. He's going to go all the way to basement to try and prevent some of this entry that some teams like to do from the garage wall and kind of a clean up and on. But it looks like Chaos really going to focus now on this upstairs push. Really, no one left underneath now. It's Chaos again trying to keep them on their toes, rotate up and around. There's a close on his side upstairs in bathroom. This pretty aggressive upstairs hold going to come out. P4 right underneath meeting room or theater windows, projector, however you prefer to call it. But the reverse repel kind of there, but Cuckoo's going to take out Red Groove Shate on to Cuckoo's, and that is what we kind of saw there early on. But Chaos looking to get another one in Visa, and the question is, can he connect? And I really honestly think the answer is probably no. That's going to be Reynolds there with the R4C holographic. No more ACOG. Unless you want to break out that GE36C following it. But Reynolds is going to be in. Not really paying attention to Visa hallway, though. And this could be a very clean chance for Chaos to go. The drains don't come out. He doesn't have the information. And the free peek for Chaos onto Reynolds. And again, it's the information that's putting them down over and over again. And Chaos faltering on attack yet again. Chaos, what is happening to you? They're watching to rotate off on Cielo. That's actually the Echo there. Shinka, both in the very 9 and MP5 SD. Very patiently playing, knowing all he has to do is buy time. Durza on to Shate, though, and that's secretly Ann. Vito now left and live. There's one underneath, and, you know, courtesy of this really aggressive iZiDream rotation team between Durza and Chaos. And Vito trying to chase Piano is going to catch one, but actually not because I'm just going to get smacked right in the face with a goo trap for his troubles. Chaos now proning out, watching for the refrag, but it's not going to come out. Chaos has a minute, but based on the recent performance, I really, to be perfectly honest, do not see this happening. Secretly going to bounce right past Visa. They're kind of watching Spiral, but their bigger fight is going to come from Piano, and that's going to be where Chaos takes up his home along with Durza right on Yellow. The Wings are going to come out. They know he's there. Chaos crushes him there, and it's all now in a 1v4 against Secretly, who you know, just hanging out right there on Visa stairs in a 1v4 is pretty helpless. The Toxic Vapors are going to come out. He's going to rush and not really able to close out against anything there as it comes out. And that's actually the Echo played by Shinko with the MP5 SD. They'll shut that down on secretly. And Izzy takes 2 rounds right in a row. And if you hung out with us for Border, this absolutely should not be a surprise, considering that we saw Chaos on match point before iZiDream decided to drop 5 in a row, and it's looking pretty similar yet again as Chaos can absolutely not figure their attack out. I'm not sure what's going on, but they're absolutely struggling here on attack over and over and over again. We're going to go upstairs here to console office and meeting. Again, this is the first time that iZiDream has done that. We did see it a couple times there on the Chaos half. That's where we kind of saw that Echo whiff right off the bat initially with the early kill on round number 1. But Izzy now going to try and hold upstairs. Chaos, my memory serves me correct, was 2-0 on this site on their last defensive half. But now Izzy's going to have to look to try to hold them again to pry the match point out of Chaos's hands here. Because if they win it, that'll put them at 6 rounds. And they only need 7 to take this home. And with that, we are underway here in round number 9. Shinka popping those windows, trying to threaten and prep the spawn peaks, forcing Chaos to get fairly aggressive here with at least the peaks and runouts on the Chaos. You can tell how pensive they are trying to peek and push those angles that they know quite a lot of availability for spawn peaks. You see on ranks, you see in the Pro League, it happens quite a bit here, both on runouts and peaks early on out the window. Durza very comfortable again playing that Jaeger with the 416C, the strongest gun on defense, right there on yellow stairs with all the ADSs there to support him and help him out. And is now going to have to try and get fleshed out by this Chaos attack. And you know, you don't imagine what the problem are. The fire bolts, the fixing bolts are going to come out. He's off yellow. They just now has to take it. They have to come up from underneath and it closed out. P4 and Chaos looking to stop that aggression though from the bottom of yellow, but that's where this has to come in handy. You're not really able to waste utility on yellow and push it if you can't take it once you get him off of it, because you know what's going to happen? He's going to go right back. Good try, Chaos. Didn't work out. Thanks for playing. Come again later. Burn the ADSs, throw the nade, get the asphyxiating bolts in there. Make the push, but only once you've cleared underneath. And there's one nade burnout. Vito looking to get the second in there. He is going to be able to get the second one, but no, Dice didn't even cook it. Just let it bounce off. And there was just a lot of utility misplay here, and we're just wasting time again because basically the entire team is centered on yellow trying to take it. And they're like, again, the same thing we saw on Border. They decide to bounce off and leave it halfway through after committing so much utility trying to close it, and then they don't get any of the reward from it. P4 and Chaos still poised to block the bottom of yellow from Durza being taken, and so there's no way they're going to be able to swing in on the window to use them because they're absolutely failing here with some of this utility usage. So Chaos now changing and trying to go on to this site push. Cuckoos, that's going to be Izzy sitting right inside of A. That's Mini, but down from underneath on the basement push by Renewals and the R4C. Chaos goes down. P4 now aware he's going to be down at the bottom of yellow trying to watch that out. Durza still sitting upstairs, but just 50 seconds left. Chaos has got to figure this out, and it really looks like it's going to be a lot of Renewals' job here to try and get some of this done. Cuckoo's going to be able to take out onto Vito. He's now back into a 4v4 situation. Got to take control of yellow, but that Legion trap going to come out and alert P4 right above him, and Rules hits one after the other over and over again. And P4 now going to get very aggressive in the hallway, get the peek off, but miss, and Renewal's not able to connect it, and the defuse is going to go down right in console office. The peek unable to connect. Shinka takes out Shate, secretly going to go down from Cuckoos, and the repel trying to come out non, but the defuse is happening. Red Groove has got to stop it. He's off it and waiting on the run out. They've got time to buy. He's got no more fixed hitting bolts, only smoke. Is the run out gonna happen? The question is, yes, it is gonna happen. He's gonna get it on Cuckoos. Can he get the second run out? He can't. And where is Renewals to help cover the take? And they don't have it. The diffusion is gonna go down, and Chaos throwing yet again, and it's 4-5. iZiDream making the claw back all the way over yet again. No joke, this is probably the greatest choke I've seen on a best of 3, in 2 maps back to back, with the exception of EG there in Milan against Empire. It all started there with the top of White Stairs, Canadian, down in Infamy. And we're going to go downstairs to Cafeteria and Garage, and that will be iZiDream rotating down and underneath. Chaos just absolutely strong. You've got to imagine that they're defeated. Their mental state right now, having done this 2 maps in a row, cannot be good. I mean, it just honestly cannot. And even when they go into the overtime, it's important to note that this time they will not be starting on defense. They'll be starting on attack, which is what they've struggled with so frequently in the past 2 maps. And looking at that last matchup, if we want to try and analyze it, really what happened, right? So the plant was able to go down right here behind the desk, the default plant spot when you're playing upstairs. The rotate push came out, actually killed the guy trying to watch the peak. Interesting, it wasn't kind of on the windows. He just pushed in sight with him. Kind of an odd move, but that kind of ended up exposing him from 2 angles at the same time. He went down. He was able to jump back out, but then also secretly went down on the plant, right? So then you have your cap tail come down on the windows, trying to get the long peak on, but then that obviously he has sight locked down. He can stop the diffuser, but then he's exposed from 2 locations, right? The piano window and the yellow door on those 2 main rounds. So really yellow window if you want to run all the way around. But what I don't understand is why Renewals was trying to come back and flank up yellow underneath piano instead of just maybe going out main lobby, rotating around as quick as he could, or just jumping out piano window and trying to watch the underneath flank in order to stop some of that madness. You can root the runouts, let him watch the window, work together as a team, and it seems consistently the story of Chaos on attack is the inability to work as a team, whereas it's the exact opposite here for iZiDream on defense, where they refrag, they work together beautifully. And it's really showing here is just, the flip-flop is almost happening. Both teams really strong on defense, but not on attack. And they just burn so much time trying to flesh out some of these defenders, and Durza going to do it to him again right there on yellow. Exact same setup, and I guarantee you it's going to take them just as long to make the clear out. And they're really unable to do it. And we're going to waste quite a bit of time here not watching the yellows that need to be watched when you see the rotate come off. Now you just need to burn them out. If you have the cap tower, you do not. The only nades to get them away or playing off and on the side. And really, this utility usage is just not the best. Renewal's now pushing all the way down long desk hall, though, and that's going to get Cuckoos to drop those. Vito finally does come in, and that's a drop down the piano for both. So they kind of force the defenders back just a bit, but it's all the way downstairs, and that's important to note as they now have still yet another floor to clear, and then the execute to prep in a minute and a half. The wall still closed. Cuckoos on to Vito, though, and they're about to make this a 5-5 on this reverse sweep. Swinging it out in bathroom, literally exactly reminisce of what we saw before. Interesting to actually not see the Maverick brought out either to try and get this wall open. Has been the bane of them every single time as they've not been able to get it. They don't break out the Zofia, reverse repel onto piano windows to get the mute jammer off. They really can't figure themselves out when it comes to getting the utility off that wall, opening up and trying to go for a plant. And I'm really surprised they haven't done that, because a lot of teams that try to dodge that are really good at roam clearing, but they've actually fallen apart. The trade's going to come out, but then the C4 open on, and another kill. Triple for Kuz before being refragged immediately there by Secretly, and it's now a 1v3, but what an animal there. C4 and gunplay alike. And it's now Secretly left 30 seconds to go into this iZiDream defense, and that's going to put them 5v5. So the first 5 rounds of the matchup went to Chaos, and now the second 5 rounds in the matchup going to iZiDream, I would imagine, hitting Legion Trap, aka Goo Mines, after Goo Mines in the peak, and he's going to get peeked there from Durza, and going to be whiffed there a couple times, and closed out there with the handgun from Pipes down the hall towards Spiral Stairs, and that's Durza on to Secretly, and with that, iZiDream is now tied up 5-5. So now here's the question, right? So we saw iZiDream win 5 straight rounds on the last map, all the way through overtime in order to close it out. So here's the question now. Can they win 7 straight rounds in a row in order to put us 7-5 and advance them on to the next portion of the qualifier? And again, this is the losers bracket, so whatever team loses this is out for good. They're done. They're over. It's out. Whatever team wins will advance to continue trying to play in the loser's bracket before being pushed up and on to the quote-unquote upper or, winner's bracket, aka whatever, to face their next matchup in an effort. But only one team eventually out of the total of 16, if my memory serves me correct, that started, will go on to be the European qual invite, at least, to season invitationals, which will be held in February there in Montreal with the largest prize pool that Siege has ever seen. So the teams do have a lot on the line. These are the biggest qualifiers they've ever played for, but you've got to be frustrated with Chaos. So early round differentials, if you look at the first half of every single map, Chaos is up like infinite rounds. But iZiDream just really, I think, going to be the underdog dream story of the tournament if they win this. Regardless of how the rest of the tournament goes, you really can't top the amount of comebacks that iZiDream has had on the past 2 maps, and playing really well on the first one, respectively, at least. So super excited to see where this goes here as we try and close out Consulate. Again, all one of the 2 teams has to do is win 2 more rounds straight, at least that is, without putting it overtime. Then of course we'll have to go towards 8 wins, so that would put them at 3. So they either have to win 2 or 3. And the drones are underway. So the site is Lobby Piano. Again, if you weren't paying a ton of attention, so that will require this pretty heavy uphold. We see fairly aggressively. Reynolds will take out Chaos, though. He's been a pretty aggressive fragger, Reynolds and Chaos both. So Reynolds really not wanting Chaos to lose this, and he's going to come up from basement. We talked about that really kind of common push there up and then through Spiral underneath. And the Vito also brought out the Jackal. I'm also correct. This is the first time we've seen it in this matchup, but thus far as well. We do have the Echo, though, and so that will be some information denial here. And P4 is still playing above along with Durza and Shinga. They're not really pushed off, and I'm kind of curious to actually see if Chaos will be able to get them fleshed and pushed off. But the 16 Bulge were not able to connect. Kuko's actually going to go down. The plant is going to go down now. The question is, he can't stop with the Echo. He finally got the Yokai stop there, but he is going to lose his first drone. The question is, can he get his second one in time? And it's now 2. Secretly is going to go down, and that is courtesy of now putting it into a 1v. Basically 4. He's going to go down there. That's Shinka. Second on to Reynolds, looking above to try and rotate the diffuser on Shate's hands, but they're both there now, having been revived. So now it's a 1v4 situation still. The plant is going down. The question is, do they have the Yokai? And he really is not able to connect it. And Chaos is finally able to put themselves on to match point as Red Group closes out on the long angle from Spiral windows. And what was almost really a great hold there from iZiDream just felt just a little bit too short. The Yokai drone is really not in place to handle that quick of a push. And we're now on match point. Chaos, no familiar with match point. They spent most of this matchup in the round lead, and then this is the second time on 3 maps that they've been on match point and looking to close it out this time. But to do that, they're going to have to win console and meeting. And this is where iZiDream has been so strong with the inability for Chaos really to push Durza out of Yellow Stairs and, utilize their utility and kind of like the proper sequence there and the roam clear in order to get him off and away from that. It's really going to come down to gunplay here. And if you kind of look at the scoreboard, it's really been some impressive rounds there, especially from Durza and Chaos on iZiDream and Reynolds on Chaos, the team. Potentially the final round of the matchup here after driving us all the way through the first 2 maps, both on Clubhouse, which, if you're just joining us, we saw Chaos take 7-3 or 7-4. And then we rotated on and over to Border, where after being set on match point, 6-3, Chaos lost 8-6 as iZiDream mounted a 5-round straight comeback. And then now after being up 5-1, Chaos has let iZiDream bring it almost back. And now Chaos swooped it back just potentially a little bit here and put themselves on match point yet again. And the question is now, will this go into overtime with iZiDream keeping their underdog story alive once again, or will they falter and let Chaos finally take what they have had so much mental stress trying to do since we first started the matchup? We do have the Echo again. Important to note, once again, that the Echo not really being allowed to play the past 2 times. is able to be opened up on this map, and they've been using it on both sides, you know, both Chaos and iZiDream to its full extent. Pretty standard lineup being brought out here. We're going to see Renewals do what we talked about earlier, kind of that garage open and that push up where he did get that kill on to Kukos previously, if my memory serves me correct. Is that our Chaos? The Capital Firebolts are going to come out again, and they are going to actually be able to push Durza off for the first time, and it's looking promising here as Chaos finally able to do what they've done for so long, an attempt at least, and they now have yellow, basically, as long as they can close up on it. But the only stand in that is going to be really P4, who's trying to watch underneath for Renewals, but not really watching the bottom of yellow, and that could actually be kind of a fatal mistake here if Vito and the rest of Chaos recognize that and they take quick control of yellow. They're actually going to leave off with, though, in kind of this odd choice. Really interesting to know why they're not pushing yellow, but their Vito goes to maybe an attempt to try and take this. Renewal's literally sitting on a drone, kind of watching P4 is now rotated all the way to yellow, but he's actually going to almost trade there with Vito, but neither going to be able to connect. Red Groove not on the rotate anymore, watching it from the top of Spiral. So that's going to be up to Vito. He does have the Inox, though, so he can track the feet despite the new system. Pretty fresh, so he will get a lot of usage out of those at this point. Chaos sitting at the top of yellow. Again, this is do or die for iZiDreams. Do or die. Chaos is at least guaranteed overtime for themselves, but iZiDreams has not, and they have to win this if they want to continue on in the season invitationals qualifier playoffs. Renewal's going to get identified there. Chaos on to Vito, though, and that's the Jackal going to go out. And kind of interesting, it's going to go down to Renewals, though, and it's now into a man deficit. It's 3-4, and P4 not looking good on the health, but Shinka all the way sitting up top, along with the remaining of the two defenders. The flashes are going to come out. Red Groove sitting there very carefully in with secretly. He's going to be able to take out Renewals, though. Found it's back into a 3v3 situation. You're waiting on the push to come out. The question is, can it come out? It can. He's going to be able to get the kill, and that's secretly on to Shinka. It's now into a 2v3 situation. P4 no health. All three Toxic Babes left, but very quickly, Shante is down and on to P4, and it's a 1v3. All the hopes rest for Kukus, and he's going to get one. Can he get two? He can't get two, and Chaos finally continue on in the tournament. And they win after what looked like a dangerous attempt to come back there. And that is iZiDream eliminated from the tournament despite an absolute great attempt on these 3 rounds to hang in there. Absolutely great attempt. Guys, we appreciate you watching. This again has been Chaos versus iZiDream. iZiDream will advance on to the next part of the matchup in the tournament. You can find all of those out on the ESL Play information online. If you just find the tournament under the R6 Siege Europe PC bracket and see who else is casting, and also check it out on Twitter. Again, I'm your caster, MisfitMidas. I do appreciate you watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter if you'd like more information about when I cast next. Thank you guys. You've been awesome.